Sullivan says the U.S. is redoubling its diplomatic efforts. Former Trump attorney Michael Cohen remains on the witness stand at the former president's hush money trial in New York, testifying about paying out of his own pocket to keep Stormy Daniels quiet ahead of the 2016 election. The former president is charged with falsifying business records in payments to reimburse Cohen in 2017.
Being that this is a documents case, the prosecutors have to show that documents were falsified. And a big way that they could do this is through testimony of the former CFO, Alan Weisselberg, who is in jail right now on perjury. He is the one person that could potentially connect Donald Trump to the way payments were organized to repay Cohen for the Stormy Daniels story.
Fox Business's Lydia Hu at State Supreme Court. The former president calls the trial a political witch hunt. New polls give him the lead in 5 of 6 swing states.
Among registered voters, former President Trump leads President Biden by 7 points in Arizona as well as Michigan, 10 points in Georgia, 12 in Nevada, just 3 in Pennsylvania, and he trails President Biden by 2 points in Wisconsin. The New York Times, Siena College, and Philadelphia Inquirer polling found similar differences between the men when people were asked about 5 candidates in a race, including RFK Jr.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
A fatal accident, cloudy and 78 degrees in downtown Indianapolis. You've got a fear radar, a low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:02. A 21-year-old man died after falling in a trench at a crew car wash in Noblesville this afternoon near the White River and State Road 37.
He was working to install a water pipe. The trench was approximately 8 feet deep and 4 feet wide. The sides of the trench sloughed off and collapsed in on him.
Trevor Hash with the Noblesville Fire Department. The man was identified as Sean Young. Democratic candidate for governor Jennifer McCormick is preaching bipartisanship in her campaign.
You know, people don't want fear and chaos. We want someone who will approach the State House with balance in a bipartisan way, who will stay focused on the issues that impact our daily lives.
On All Indiana Politics, she also says that when it comes to those issues, she and her campaign are on the correct side. That would have to do with education, women's rights, and environment, among others. She ran unopposed in the Democratic Party. In Indiana, marijuana is already being used, albeit illegally. That's why one state senator believes it's time to move ahead and legalize it. Brian Hedrick reports.
Senator Rodney Pohl from Gary says that marijuana users are probably buying the drug off the illegal market instead of a regulated system where taxes can be collected.
I visited, these cultivation centers in Michigan, and they're more regulated than any industry that I've seen here in Indiana. So, I think that it goes to show that it's safer. You're collecting revenue from it.
Speaking to Indy Politics, Pohl says by keeping marijuana illegal, Indiana is missing out on opportunities to improve the economy and lower taxes. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The Indiana Pacers beat the New York Knicks yesterday to even up their best-of-7 series at 2 games apiece. Indiana head coach Rick Carlisle said it was important to take both games at home.
Just about everything this time of year is a one-game season, or feels like it. Every game is monumentally important. Getting down 0-2 is difficult. It's a big hole.
The series heads back to New York Tuesday for Game 5, tip-off at 8 at MSG. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 3:04.
Hey, it's Rob from my friends at the Bath Authority. If your bath or shower is old, outdated, has mold and mildew, or broken tiles, you gotta call the Bath Authority. The Bath Authority provides the highest quality bathroom remodeling products along with a world-class customer experience. What that means to you is your project will be low maintenance, resistant to mold and mildew, easy to clean, and last for decades. The Bath Authority does it all. Walk-in tubs, replacement showers, tub-to-shower conversions, and more. And listen to this incredible deal going on at the Bath Authority. Call today, 317-532-5711, and get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. That's right, 317-532-5711, and you get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. Restrictions apply. TheBathAuthority.com. TheBathAuthority.com. A better bath awaits.
With traffic on the 5s, good afternoon, Matt Baer.
Good afternoon, Harrison Silcox. We have a crash enclosure going eastbound 74 towards Shelbyville from Indianapolis to Shelbyville. In fact, the crash is right before State Road 9, and that's where we are shut down right now. If you do want to reroute or detour, you can always use the London Road interchange there and get out there and then head south and take 400 or however else you may want to do that. But eastbound 74 is shut down before State Road 9. Also looking at a crash coming into downtown. It is a stall going southbound 65 at Meridian Penn, blocking the left lane, backing up traffic to 21st. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention Indy homeowners, is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for It's the Traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Sky showers are possible tonight with lows in the low 60s. Tuesday will feature on and off showers and storms with heavier rainfall potential at times, with highs only in the low 70s, which is near normal for this time of the year. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters
They're weirdos.
So let's rock it! This is Halliburton, played by DiVincenzo. Moving to his left, steps up and launches! That's not worth one. It's not worth two. It is worth three.
My name is Nigel. That's Jason Hammer, and you were just listening to the voice of the Pacers, Mark Boyle of the Pacers Radio Network yesterday. Big Pacers win, Hammer. More on that coming up, but first some action involving multiple juveniles and a SWAT team.
Just another weekend in Indy.
I know.
Right? IMPD spokesperson reported that officers were called to the 3300 block of North Drexel about 8:51 last night. This was on a report of shots fired. So police arrived.
Yeah.
They located an individual with a weapon. But here's where things get a little dicey. Police detained the person with the weapon, but later found out shots were also being fired into a residence. So the officers learned of a gunshot victim, and 3 suspects were inside of this residence. So fearing that, they may be shot, they called the SWAT team in, and luckily the SWAT team handled business. Everybody was ultimately taken in without further incident. But multiple juveniles were involved in this.
They didn't call in like a social worker to try to calm
No, they
the
called the
situation?
freaking SWAT team in, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah. Story we hear every weekend. Multiple juveniles, shootings. Where are the parents? Where are their guardians? It's a common subject we talk about often with Reverend Charles Harrison of the 10-Point Coalition. No parental I don't know about this specific situation, but there seems to be a commonality.
Right.
It seems to be a trend when we're talking about juveniles and guns.
And maybe we should stop saying, where are the parents? Because the video I saw of this fight that took place at Castleton Square Mall past weekend,
saw that.
Grown-ass adults throwing down. I mean, this was wild. We posted it on the Hammer and Nigel Show Facebook page. So again, please go to our page because Zucker Nerd has restricted us, and sometimes it doesn't always pop up on your feed. But if you go to our Facebook page, scroll down a post or two, you're going to see video of this wild brawl that took place at the Castleton Square Mall.
Crazy.
I mean, there were leg drops, like Hulk Hogan dropping leg drops.
And not only that, but there were you could see little kids milling around in the background witnessing this stuff. Like if my kids saw that, they'd be horrified. And to some other kids, it's like just another day.
Right.
That's what's sad.
Now, the commentary of the person that filmed the video was fantastic. An awful lot of wigs on the ground. A lot of weaves on the ground. Like, whoever filmed this.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. I remember that about this.
Oh, man. Hat tip for the commentary.
There's a lot of wigs on the ground.
17 wigs.
Yeah, 17. That's it.
And then, the cameraman, shows the carnage afterwards, and you see all these, wigs and weaves ripped off, just laying on the ground, and this was wild. It was at a sporting goods store at the Castleton Square Mall. So, again, just another weekend in Indy. But, man, I'm not going to let all that nonsense take away from my mojo right now.
Oh, man.
I am feeling everything that's happening in the city. I might not like the political leadership, but the weather has made a turn. We've got a lot of stuff happening at the Motor Speedway. Caitlin Clark's in town, and the Pacers have tied that series.
That was an amazing game. We were doing Mother's Day at the Midtown Plaza in Carmel from about noon to like right as the Pacers tipped off. We left, right? And I didn't want to, I didn't listen to it on the radio. Kids were listening to their crap. And by the time we got home, went immediately to the garage, turned on the TV. It was the end of the first quarter. They were up. I mean, the Pacers scored like 34 points.
They were hitting everything.
Towards the end of the first quarter.
It was so refreshing and rare for, that to be happening to your team, the team you're rooting for. It was a beatdown, 121-89. And again, for the second week, we get Pacers and Racers.
Boom, baby.
I love when I hear that race car sound effect at the Pacer games. I think it's really cool.
Now, but do you want a Pacer playoff game on the same day as the Indy 500?
So that would mean they would have to go to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right. I know I'm looking ahead there, which I shouldn't do.
Historically, that's never been good for the Pacers. Like the days where they've had playoff games the same day as the Indy 500, historically have not gone well for the Pacers.
Okay.
Now, before and after, sure. Like I remember that Memorial Day game against the Chicago Bulls. Reggie pushes off of Michael Jordan, gets away with it, and buries that three-pointer. You had Rick Smits hitting some big shots against the Orlando Magic. Just something about the same day has never really gone well. But let's get past the Knicks first because they're going back to the Garden. Game 5 is tomorrow
Maybe
night.
I just jinxed it. Crap, I just jinxed it.
Great crowds this past weekend, man. Good to see the field house rocking and rolling. And during that beatdown yesterday, they had Pat McAfee, who was sitting courtside. They gave him a microphone to try to fire up the fans before the fourth quarter. Take a listen.
Indianapolis, Indiana, we're up 38 points going into the fourth quarter. Are we going to shut it down? Or are we going to turn this shit off? Let's blow the roof off this place. Let's go.
I love it.
McAfee was feeling it, man.
You can't be mad at the guy for dropping an S-bomb. He was firing the place up. I know there was kids there, but I think in that certain situation, you're just fine.
Hot take here. Now that we know Caitlin Clark cannot be the pace car driver, she came out and said that the schedule doesn't allow her to be the pace car driver for the Indy 500.
I didn't know they were looking at her for that.
Well, there was a rumor.
Okay.
But she said schedule won't allow it. Pat McAfee, I think, is the guy.
Oh, he's got to be the guy.
You need somebody with some Indiana ties, but somebody that appreciates the event, that can get the fans fired up. If Doug Bowles is listening, I think Pat McAfee should be the celebrity pace car driver for those first couple of laps.
And if he can't do it, then Matt Bear.
Yes,
obviously,
100%. Go back to Friday night, man. That Pacers game was unbelievable.
Yes.
How about that shot from Andrew Nembhard? He had been struggling all game long, had a bad game, and listen to this call from Mark Boyle. Keep in mind, Andrew Nembhard wears number 2. I think it's important to point that out.
Separation between game and shot clock's about 17 seconds. Halliburton double teamed out near the timeline. 3 to shoot, 2 to shoot, 35-foot 3! Number 2, Nembhard.
Boyle was losing his voice.
That's another game where I was having a heart attack every other minute, I feel like, because the Pacers were up, right? And then they were down, and then they were up, and then they were down by 9, and then they came back.
It was wild, and so many big plays in that game. So the schedule now is tomorrow, Game 5 in New York. That is at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Game 6 back here in Indianapolis on Friday. It will either be 6:30 p.m. or 8:30 p.m. We don't know the time yet. It kind of depends on some of the other series that are taking place.
And then we have the debut. Is it this week for
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark?
Yes. Regular season for the Fever kickoff on the road tomorrow.
Okay, on the road tomorrow.
And
then
Thursday.
Thursday. They
Home
had to
opener
move
at the
it.
Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of stuff going on here. Weather's nice. We got
Loving it,
the
man.
racers over at the Speedway. Practice for the 500 gets going this week. Grand Prix was this past weekend. A lot of positive stuff happening, Matt Bear. Can the same be said about what's happening on the roads?
Well, Hammer, not really. We have a vicious crash heading to Shelby County right now. It's eastbound 74, a crash and closure before State Road 9. This is like heading from Indianapolis towards Shelbyville right now, and traffic at the moment stopped all the way back to 400 West or Fairland in that area right now. You can exit early and try to use country roads to get around this. We will have reroutes posted at WIBC Traffic. Also coming southbound 65 at Meridian Penn, that is a stall blocking the left lane, backing up traffic 220 First Street. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention Indy homeowners, is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Guy Relford will join us here in about 15 minutes for Monday Gunday. Nigel, I don't know about you, but watching this Pacer series so far, through 4 games, it's reminded me how much I hate New York. I'd almost
whole
forgotten
city?
the whole city.
I just hate it.
Hate everything about it. The only thing I like in New York is Anthony Rizzo and Jerry Seinfeld. And that's it. I'm supposed to hate the Bucks more because that was going to be the next big rivalry for the Pacers.
Yeah.
They're in the division. But something about this playoff series has just reminded me how much I hate New Yorkers, Madison Square Garden, that
man.
rat-infested hellhole,
Harsh.
Mayor Adams, all the crime, all the crap. It's brought the angst back out of me. All that stuff that I felt in the 90s during those rivalries, it's been brought back out.
Okay.
I'm here for it.
Fair enough.
All right, coming up next, we will recap a fun Mother's Day weekend. And did anybody see those northern lights I kept hearing so much about? We'll talk about that next.
I'm lucky and grateful to be a homeowner, but there is sure a lot of stuff to be worried about as a homeowner. But thankfully, I'm an American Standard customer. I use only American Standard dealers, and I have only American Standard equipment. Here's Hammer to tell you about one of those fine, outstanding local American Standard dealers.
How about Family Heating and Air, the Morris family and their staff, ready to help you out this spring and summer. You could call Rachel, Marcus, or Malia today and make sure that your AC is ready to go for when the hot weather arrives. Family Heating and Air Conditioning, they always encourage you to get a free second opinion from them, even if you got another quote from somebody else, because if something doesn't look right, contact Family. Nobody takes care of you like Family. 317-577-8077. That's Family Heating and Air. 577-8077. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you. American Standard Heating and Air, built to a higher standard.
Sinus pain. You know it all too well. It's constant. It's frustrating. The pressure, the headaches, the snoring, the constant clogged feeling. You're tired of feeling like this, but you've tried nasal sprays, over-the-counter medicines, even home remedies. No matter what you try, nothing gives you lasting sinus relief. You're tired of missing out and feeling miserable. There is something you can do. Something different. Indianapolis Sinus Center. The physicians at Indianapolis Sinus Center have been serving the community with proven treatments for over 50 years. They know what you're going through, and they're standing by ready to offer you the best treatments to provide long-term relief. Breathe better. You don't have to keep suffering from sinus pain. Call Indianapolis Sinus Center today at 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward relief. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650 or go to IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
Eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
During much of Indiana's history, communicating on the telephone with the deaf or hard of hearing was nearly impossible. Friends and loved ones couldn't stay in touch, so the hard of hearing became isolated. Today, those with hearing loss have equal access with the CapTel caption telephone from Relay Indiana and can keep their independence. Relay Indiana allows a caller to read what the other party is saying. This advanced technology keeps Hoosiers connected so that everyone can contribute to Indiana's productive future. Learn more at relayindiana.com.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
This hour on WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
My name is Nigel. That is Jason Hammer right over there. Hope everybody had an awesome Mother's Day. You know what today is, though, Hammer?
What's that?
It's the day after Mother's Day.
It's the day after Mother's Day. No more sleeping in on your one day a year. No breakfast in bed. Laundry's piling up. Boogers on the wall. Your special day is over and it's time to get back to mothering. Mothering. Issue instructions. Repeat instructions. Repeat instructions one more time. Really loudly. Don't forget to caffeinate. Think, oh my God, these kids are driving me crazy. Why do I even bother? Say no at least 15 times. The day after Mother's Day. Boy, could you use a nap.
The day after Mother's Day. Welcome back to reality, ladies.
Back to normal, business as usual.
What'd you do?
So on Saturday, we took the coupon lady to Diamonds Direct.
Nice.
She wanted to get rings that had the birthstone of our boys.
Oh, I saw that on Facebook. Yeah.
So one of them's born in August. Another one was born in December. So they got the coordinated birthstones, and she got 2 rings that go
right on
along with their birthstones.
Nice Mother's Day present.
And then Sunday went over to my mom's, and then hung out over there. Went back home. We had a big meal watching the Pacers game.
What'd you have?
Ribs that were made at home with like the homemade mashed potatoes and noodles and good old fashioned Indiana meal, man.
Yeah. Let's see. We woke up Sunday morning. My wife wanted to go to the 9:30 service there over at Traders Point.
Nice.
Really good guest speaker. It wasn't Pastor Aaron. Danny
DeVito.
No. Yeah, Danny DeVito was the guest speaker at Traders Point. But she was right, and I apologize, I can't think of her name, but she was really good. And then it was funny, after the service, they had the church has this area where it says Happy Mother's Day or Mother's Day is awesome or something like that, and you can have your family picture taken underneath it. So a bunch of my family was there. And standing in front of us, waiting to have his picture taken, was a massive man. I mean, just an Adonis. And he turned around, and it was DeForest Buckner.
Oh, the big Colts lineman. Big dude.
Oh, like sometimes you don't, like when you watch NFL games on TV, yeah, oh boy, that's a big guy, But when you're standing next to them in person and they're like, I'm 6'1", my head was at his chest.
That's a big dude.
So, I mean, I didn't say anything or anything. I was just impressed by his imposing presence.
We were just talking about that last week. because I sat pretty close to one of those Pacer playoff games. And when you get that close, the people that don't look like they're big or cut on television, like TJ McConnell's pretty ripped, but it doesn't come off that way on television.
You don't see that on TV, but when you're right there in person, yeah, I mean, that's their job, is to work out every day and then play a game.
Right.
So then after that, we went to spend some time. We love that Carmel Midtown Plaza where there's the Sun King and there's different restaurants, and we had, moms, grandmas, stepmoms, spent a few hours there. And then, like I said here earlier, we went home about the start of the Pacer game. And by the time I got home, the Pacers had scored 34 points in the first quarter. So awesome Mother's Day. Awesome.
Good.
Because, it's all about me. And I had a good time. And then, I know my wife did too. She did drive home from the brewery.
Somebody had to drive home.
I drove there.
But then you had a few beverages, and on Mother's Day, made the mother of your children drive all the other moms home.
I did not make her do anything. She's like, hey, look, she only had like one or two during the 3 hours we were there, so she was like, I don't care.
Did anybody see the Northern Lights?
Oh, no. I
this
wasn't
weekend?
even awake. You're kidding me? I'm not staying up to see the Northern Lights. Nobody saw it here anyway, I don't think, did they?
I think some people did, because I saw pictures all over social media, but everybody was saying, well, you've got to have a filter on your phone, and you've got to have this or that. I don't want to see it on my phone. I want to look up in the sky and see it. Allison, you live a little bit more outside of the city limits. Did you see anything?
Morgan County was completely cloudy that night. So I feel like everyone else, I saw a lot of pictures in Knightstown and Cicero, that area, but nothing by us.
We tried.
Well, we tried.
We got outside, and it was about 11:30, 11:45, and my timeline just loaded with everybody showing these pictures. So we said, screw it. We're going to get in the old family truckster.
Yeah?
We drove out to Mooresville.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What time?
Close to midnight.
Get out of here.
And we got out there, and Allison's right. It was cloudy. And I looked around at the the folks in the car and said, well, this sucks, and drove back home.
In a million years, would never think to get in my car at midnight to go see.
In a million years, you'd never be awake at midnight, Nigel. In a million years, you wouldn't be awake at 10 o'clock. So I understand where you're coming from, but
imagine, and quite literally, my wife wouldn't either, for that matter. So good on you guys for having a sense of adventure.
Yeah, like when it comes to like cool space stuff, the eclipse was worth it. The eclipse was awesome. So we thought, all right, we're playing with house money. We got to see an eclipse this year. Let's go see if we can see the Northern Lights. Drove out to Mooresville, and all we saw was a bunch of cornfields and hillbillies. It's the hammer.
They're hillbillies milling around in Mooresville at midnight?
Yeah, just standing around.
Just another Saturday night.
Zombies.
It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
How much my garage would instantly become an event space, a meeting place for all my neighbors to hang out after Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and gave me a completely new and stronger garage floor. You got to realize something. My old garage floor had never been taken care of. It had never been sealed. It was cracked, dirty, and within a day, Galaxy Concrete Coatings came in and changed all that. My new Galaxy Concrete garage floor is literally out of this world. Completely changed the look of your garage or your basement, pool deck, any indoor, outdoor concrete area with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. GalaxyConcreteCoatings.com, or give them a call, 751-9070.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first. And then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
That moment when you realize you have a serious air conditioner issue. A real stripped down to your skivvies, no one's sleeping tonight, head in the freezer fail party. But fear not. There's an expert for that.
Let your local experts at Broad Ripple Service Experts keep you cool. Get worry-free comfort for one low monthly payment.
Want to chill? There's an expert for that.
Call Broad Ripple Service Experts at 866-EXPERTS. See website for license details.
Chapters of this story take a whole month to tell. This is May. The intensity, action, and drama of the month of May continues as PPG presents Armed Forces Indy 500 qualifying. Then get ready to live it up at Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Carb Day. And all roads lead to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge. May is yours. May is ours. This is May. Buy now and save. Get tickets at IMS.com.
Accumulation, preservation, generation. At Busey Bank, these are the principles we use to build meaningful financial partnerships with our clients and their families. With sound advice and vast resources, partner with Busey for a personalized approach to your legacy. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Member FDIC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He was stuck in a trench. 78 degrees, a few clouds over the circle. The radar clear downtown, low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 3:31. Noblesville firefighters were called to a crew car wash earlier today.
We were called about 9:45 this morning. First crews to arrive found a patient in the bottom of a trench.
The trench was about 8 feet deep, says Trevor Hash with the Noblesville Fire Department, and the man was trying to install a water pipe. The 21-year-old was pronounced dead at the scene after he was pulled from the trench, and he was identified as Sean Young. IMPD officers responded last night to a report of shots fired on the east side near 34th and Sherman. One person was arrested.
Officers obviously did not know at that time what was going on.
Lieutenant Vince Turner with IMPD says they later realized what was going on. Shots had been fired at a home nearby with 3 suspects inside. SWAT cleared that house. One person was hurt and taken to a hospital. Former President Donald Trump got some support before another day in court. Fox's Ryan Schmelz reports.
Senator Tommy Tuberville was joined by other lawmakers outside the New York courtroom as he slammed District Attorney Alvin Bragg and former Trump lawyer and prosecution witness Michael Cohen.
How can you be convinced by somebody that is a serial liar?
Prosecutors are trying to prove Cohen helped arrange hush money payments to cover up an alleged affair between adult film actress Stormy Daniels and the former president, and that Mr. Trump knew the business records related to those payments were falsified. Cohen pleaded guilty in 2018 to charges that included making false statements to Congress. In Washington, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News.
Construction continues on a bridge in Baltimore that collapsed in March.
Rebuilding the Francis Scott Key Bridge is not about nostalgia. It's about necessity.
The collapse has affected the supply chain. The Maryland Governor Wes Moore talking there. Rebuilding the bridge is expected to cost at least $3 billion. And the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.58, says Gas Buddy. That's 2 cents cheaper than the national average. Traffic and weather in 60 seconds. It's 3:33.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for Zero Res, and the $129 flash sale is this week, May 13th to May 17th. That's this week and this week only, and it really is the Zero Res deal of the year. It's a 3-room special, $129, which is a $40 savings, but it's only this week. Come Saturday morning, this offer's over. $129 for 3 rooms, including the ZR water difference. No soap, no residue, no harsh chemicals, leaving things really clean. $129 this week only. So give them a call, 317-388-5141. Book online at zeroresindy.com right now. If you call next week, you won't get the flash sale offer of $129 because it's for this week only. Zero Res has the best people, the best service, the best product, and now the flash sale gives you the best price ever. Mention WIBC, you'll get the flash sale price of $129 for 3 rooms. Really, don't miss out. Saturday, the price will be gone. 388-5141. Online at zeroresindy.com.
With traffic at 334, what's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, all lanes of eastbound 74 closed right now, heading to Shelbyville from Indianapolis. The closures from Michigan Road to Fairland. And right now we have delays. Both stopped traffic running from County Road 400 West down to 400 North, and then again before State Road 9. If you exit at London Road heading towards Shelbyville, you will have time to make your reroute. Otherwise, you could get stuck in the stop traffic. Looking at southbound 65, it's a stall blocking the left lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to 21st Street. And on the south side, eastbound 465 slows from the White River over to Harding. Traffic sponsored by Grand Appliance. Shop Grand Appliance for a huge selection of top appliance brands like GE, Cafe, and more at unbeatable prices. Learn more at grandappliance.com or your local showroom. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers are possible tonight with lows in the low 60s. Tuesday will feature on and off showers and storms with heavier rainfall potential at times, with highs only in the low 70s, which is near normal for this time of the year. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The only way to bag a classy lady is to give her 2 tickets to the gun show.
It's Monday Gun Day with the Gun Guy.
Just watch out for the guns. They'll get you.
Guy Relford.
Stop calling your arms guns.
Hammer and Nigel show.
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. Also joining us live in studio, the gun guy, Guy Relford, licensed firearms instructor and 2A attorney. And also, as I understand it, I couldn't believe it when I heard the news, you're filling in for me this Friday.
Yeah,
and
I am.
I've learned that we've created this new phenomenon on the show on Fridays. Beer Sample Friday is fine, but we've created a new segment within a segment called Beer Sample Friday
presents Celebrity Beer Bong.
Beer Bongs.
Yeah.
And as I understand it, the gun guy is the celebrity beer bonger this Friday.
I'm looking forward to it. I walked in the studio today. My first question to Hammer was, "Is there a record I'm going for here?" Let's go big or go home on this thing.
He's like Larry Bird walking into the locker room. Which one of you guys is playing for second?
Well, Mindy Winkler, who does the night show on Hank, she did a 16-ouncer
with no hands.
So.
In terms of speed, I think John Herrick may be the front runner.
Oh, yeah.
A fellow DePaul University grad? Yeah?
Yes.
Coincidence? I don't think so.
So, yes, this Friday on Celebrity Beer Bong, on Beer Sample Friday.
I'm going to have to set my alarm and find that on YouTube.
Guy Relford will be bonging a beer live.
Yeah.
Guy, this is the first time I think we've had a chance to talk since the results came in for the Indiana primary.
Yeah.
And I got all the mean emails from the Jefferson Shreve fans. You know, they're celebrating their win, scoreboard, giving me the middle finger. Did you get any of that?
I got a little bit of that, sure. And I expected to as I was watching the results come in. And hey, they won. So, to the victor goes the spoils. They can celebrate. And if they want to rub, our noses in it, that's part of it.
And you guys didn't like him for his anti-2A policies when he was running for mayor.
Exactly. And, and I talked about this on my show a little bit, but it's disappointing to me for a couple of different reasons. One, it shows that I think even a very flawed candidate can spend their way into a win. And, with the amount of money that guy had and the millions of dollars he put into that campaign, it was successful. And the other is that it's still something that makes my head spin, that a Republican with an F rating, right? F as in Frank, from the NRA, actually won a Republican primary in a district like the 6th Congressional District.
Right. We're talking about some friendly gun-toting folk. You're talking about Columbus. You're talking about those surrounding areas. People who appreciate the fact that they can have a firearm and protect their family.
That's right. And he's running against a guy who has an A+ rating. And there was a time in the not so distant past that you would think that wouldn't even be close. That somebody in a district, the voters in a district like the 6th just simply aren't going to want a Republican candidate who doesn't stand behind the Second Amendment. And so that's disappointing to me, but it also, to me, points out a real need going into the future, going forward, which is, if the NRA doesn't have that same clout and that same credibility, and the effect of an F rating doesn't have the effect that I thought it was going to, that we need to get out there and make sure that we're getting that same influence from other sources. And that's why I'm glad, for instance, I have the Two-Way Project. And we're going to look at elections like this. And I think we need to generate a lot more money. We need to get we need to spend a lot of that money, and we need to get involved in races like this, because we can't sit on our hands anymore, excuse me, and expect the NRA with its rating system to influence these races.
Was this a situation where there were so many candidates in this race, they all kind of cannibalized each other, and that allowed Jefferson Shreve, who spent the most money on advertising, to kind of get to that front of the line?
Well, that's right. When you have that many candidates, what's going to distinguish, one from the rest? What's going to allow somebody to separate from the herd? Well, I think advertising dollars is the answer to that question, and that's exactly what we saw.
It's going to be wild, because I think he's going to win in November against the Democrat in that district. I think he's going to go to Washington, D.C., and the minute he signs some sort of gun grab policy, everybody's heads are going to spin around, and we're going to be sitting here like, we told you so.
Yeah, we told you so, and elections have consequences. By the way, guys, I did not thank my sponsor at the beginning of the segment. Nope, I want to get that out there because we have a great sponsor for Monday Gunday, and that's Premier Arms in Brownsburg, with the largest selection of new, used, and historic firearms in the Midwest, and PA Jewelers located right in the store. Check them out at 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, or premierarms.com.
Anything else in the primary stick out? It seemed like it was a pretty good night for the establishment. Those that spent money saw the fruits of their dime pay off, and they won.
Low turnout.
Anything stick out?
Well, one thing I was glad to see is, really just with one exception, there was this new group, the Indiana Firearms Coalition, that came out and really attacked some really solid pro-2A legislators that I've worked with for a long time. And
this was that group you talked about.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That said they might be frauds.
No, exactly right, and they are, because they just pop up in states. They've got they have no presence in Indiana. People aren't from here. They've never been at the State House ever, not once. I mean, I'm over there for every pro or anti-2A bill. I testify for every single one. Never seen these people in the building, and they're calling themselves the largest, most influential 2A group in Indiana. I don't know where they get that from, because they've never been involved. But they were going after some real pro-2A legislators like Ben Smalls from Auburn, and I was happy to see that they didn't have much pull there, because Ben won by a wide margin. And other pro-2A candidates they clearly had targeted won as well.
Monday Gunday, Guy Relford joining us here in studio. All right, Guy, I'm going to play you a soundbite here. It's from the border czar, Kamala Harris, the vice president. She's speaking about the Second Amendment.
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. And I believe we need an assault weapons ban. We need universal background checks. We need red flag laws, right?
She's in favor of 2A, but also in favor of gun grabbing. Your thoughts?
Well, it's exactly what you'd expect from, the lady who's probably the clearest communicator among the Biden administration.
Let that sink in.
Yeah, exactly. But for her to come out and say, I support the Second Amendment, but... and that's what we always hear. In the same breath, she says she wants to take away the most commonly owned rifle in America, which she would label an assault weapon. So, I support the Second Amendment, but only says that you're a liar, because everything that comes after but is your real agenda. And the premise of you supporting the Second Amendment is a bold-faced lie, and everybody knows it. That's why you just roll your eyes when you hear those comments.
But I don't believe they just want to get rid of assault weapons, quote-unquote, assault weapons. I mean, Guy, the one of the worst mass shootings ever occurred with handguns, correct?
The worst school shooting ever at Virginia Tech was done with 2 handguns. But you could not be more right, Nigel. You are precisely right. You got to do the show more often, man. You're good. You're good at it.
He's out tomorrow through Friday, Guy.
But no, you could not be more right in that it's a war by attrition. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And any little victory they get, they're just going to take that as one little additional cut, and they're going to go for the next one. That's what people need to understand. They'll never be satiated. They'll never be done. They'll just come for the next thing, because they'll always say it's not enough, exactly to your point.
Well, hell, we saw that kind of with COVID. It wasn't guns, but your freedoms. When you give them just a little bit, hey, 2 weeks to flatten the curb, that's all we take, 2 weeks. Well, 2 weeks turned into 4 weeks turned into a shutdown, and then people lost their jobs. People were begging for the stores to open back up, and they couldn't do it.
Well, see, it's a great analogy, and this thing of it'll never be enough, and don't compromise, that actually brings us full circle back to the NRA, because when NRA really lost a lot of credibility, I think, and a lot of influence. And again, I'm still a benefactor level life member of NRA. We need a strong NRA. But where they really took one and caused himself a lot of problem is when they came out after Las Vegas and said they agreed with a bump stock ban, actually invited the ATF to reevaluate the legality of bump stocks. And listen, bump stocks are stupid, as we've talked about. Anybody who cares about marksmanship isn't going to want a bump stock. But their idea was, if we just give them this little thing, we won't have to worry about the bigger thing. And that's naive. It's horribly naive. I created a meme that I put out on social media after that, and I said, "Dear NRA, when the wolves are at the door, you don't throw them a scrap of meat and expect them to go away. Yeah. You just get more wolves." And that's exactly the way it works with gun control.
One more question here, and then I think we're going to bring you back for a second segment, if that's okay. But it does seem to me, on the outside looking in on the peripheral, that the Second Amendment has had more wins than losses lately. Am I correct? Is that assessment?
No, you're very right in the sense that the antis haven't gotten anything passed. Like, they want an assault weapon ban. Well, go through Kamala's list that Jason just played. Assault weapon ban, universal background checks, quote unquote. They haven't got any of that done. And where we've really had victories are in the courts. And this Supreme Court is issuing decision after decision that are pro-2A. They may roll that back a little bit with this Rahimi case that's pending now. We'll see. But we really are winning in the courts case after case after case based on Supreme Court precedent, and I expect that to continue.
Come back for one more segment?
You betcha.
It's Monday Gun Day. Guy Relford with us. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
A slow network is no network for business. That's why more choose Comcast Business. And now we're introducing Ultimate Speed for Business, our fastest plans yet. We're up to 12 times faster than Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. And existing customers could even get up to triple the speeds at no additional cost. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability and advanced cybersecurity. It's Ultimate Speed from Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Don't miss out on our fastest speed plans yet. Get started with internet and security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Call 1-800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com to switch today. In 62324, restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBell and autopay required. Equipment, tax, and fees extra. Compares Comcast Business 1.25 gig to 100 megabit per second 5G internet at Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Up to 3 times downloads for existing essential and standard customers.
Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomebuyer.com. No inspection, no fuss. We only need to see it once. The IndieHomebuyer.com. Problem properties, tenants don't pay. Just hand us some keys and your problems go away. Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomebuyer.com. Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomebuyer.com.
No matter your reason for selling, TheIndieHomebuyer.com will pay cash for your house in any condition. If you're dealing with deadbeat tenants, big repairs, or inheritance, TheIndieHomebuyer.com is the solution. No hassle, no inspections. TheIndieHomebuyer.com.
Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomebuyer.com. Get out fast, get cash, sell your home in a flash. The IndieHomebuyer.com.
It's Kubota Orange Days. Shop the year's best selection of Kubota tractors, zero-turn mowers, and utility vehicles, including the #1 selling compact tractor in the USA. And now, through June 30th, get zero down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $2,800 off BX23S tractors. See the details at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Stop by McAllister Machinery in Fishers and Indianapolis to see their full line of Kubota, or visit them online at McAllisterKubota.com.
At First Financial Bank, we have 4.5% APY on money market accounts and high rates on CDs. It's easy. Just stop into your local First Financial Bank to open your account, and we'll do the rest. What are you waiting for? Start growing your money today. APY equals annual percentage yield. $25,000 minimum deposit required for money market. Offer ends June 1st, 2024. Terms and conditions apply. Visit bank@first.com for details.
First!
Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's family-owned jewelry store, is dedicated to quality and fine craftsmanship. Let them help you celebrate that special moment in your life. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
This May, be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV.
Listen to Tony Katz this week for your chance to win 2 reserved seats to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 on Sunday, May 26th. More info at WIBC.com.
We will have tickets for the Indy 500 to give away sometime before 6 o'clock, so stick around. Right now, Matt Baer is going to get us up to date with everything happening out on the roads.
Yeah, Hammer, we are going from Indianapolis to Shelbyville, and we have a crash and closure. It's eastbound 74, and the closure begins at Fairland Road and stretches almost down to State Road 9, ends at Michigan Road. So if you want to reroute, you can use London Road, or just say screw it all together and use southbound 65 to State Road 44 and shoot over to Shelbyville. That way, it's an additional 8 or 9 miles, which isn't going to be bad when you consider navigating the back roads of Shelby County right now. Also looking at southbound 65 at Meridian Penn. That is a stall in the left lane, takes us to 21st slowly. Traffic sponsored by Driven to Save Lives. This May, be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
It's 78 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Guy Relford is here. It is Monday, Gunday. One more thing on this Kamala Harris soundbite. It was very short, Guy, but there was a lot going on there. Let me play this just one more time.
I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. And I believe we need an assault weapons ban. We need universal background checks. We need red flag laws, right?
So she brings up red flag laws there at the end. Now, that's something we do have here in Indy.
Yeah, we've had it since 2005. We're the second state in the country to have a red flag law. So we've got a long history with them, and I litigate a lot of those cases.
So that's not something that you're completely against. I know it's kind of weird saying you agree with Kamala Harris pretty much on anything, but that's the one thing where you can have a discussion with somebody about.
With red flag laws, it's all about due process. It's all about making sure that someone accused of being quote unquote dangerous has all the necessary constitutional protections for due process, meaning you get a hearing quickly, you can present evidence on your behalf, that you don't get your gun seized and become a prohibited possessor without having your day in court.
It can't be just a revenge thing.
No, and I've litigated those exact cases. But the only role that I see, and it is a legitimate role, the role that I see for red flag laws is where you have someone who's a known threat, a perceived threat, a documented threat, and officials need a legal mechanism to separate them from firearms while we get them some help, for instance. When they haven't committed a crime. Like, for instance, if people want to complain about the Parkland shooting in Florida and they say, oh, man, police went to this guy's house, 50-some times, and they never did anything. They never did. Well, he hadn't committed a crime yet, so they couldn't arrest him and put him in jail. So when you say they didn't do anything, what were they supposed to do? Well, that's where that mechanism of a red flag law allows authorities to investigate, and in the right circumstance where somebody's truly a threat and they're afforded due process, be able to separate them from their firearm, hopefully while they avert a disaster potentially and get them some help.
Do you take crap for that stance?
A little bit, but people understand it because I'll respond that way when people will say, "Oh, well, guys in favor of red flag." I go, first of all, I would never have been the one to propose one. I would never have been there testifying for it. I just simply recognize in a very limited circumstance there's a role for one. And when somebody wants to blow me any grief about that, I say, okay, I bring up Parkland or I bring up FedEx here in Indy. He said, all right, we're criticizing the prosecutor who didn't do anything once red flag proceedings were started by police in that case after they seized a shotgun from that guy based on his family's own allegation that he's dangerous. And if you want to criticize Ryan Mears, you want to criticize the Marion County Prosecutor's Office for not doing something to prevent The FedEx shooting, what you're saying is you see a role for red flag laws because that's the only legal mechanism they had to separate that guy from his gun. So it's all about due process, and it's all about fairness, and it's all about the ability to litigate and defend your interests, but there is a narrow sliver of a role for red flag laws.
We got about 1 minute left here. What's the latest with Hunter Biden and his gun situation?
Well, we talked about right here during this segment, we talked about the fact that Hunter is likely to make a very interesting legal argument that it's unconstitutional for him to be prosecuted under the law he's being prosecuted under, which is that someone who's a user of or addicted to illegal drugs can not possess firearms. That's what he's being prosecuted for violating.
You got to check that box when you're filing the paperwork to buy a firearm.
He allegedly lied. He made the constitutional argument. Believe it or not, here he is, Joe Biden's son. Oh, no, that's unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. But the trial court just denied that. And so he's heading to trial. But it's interesting that the son of Joe Biden actually made that constitutional argument. I can't get enough giggles in over that.
If somebody wants to reach out to you, if they've got a question, maybe they want to be trained in firearms, how can they find you?
Really, through Twitter's the best way, man. At Guy Relford on Twitter.
And you will be here Thursday and Friday filling in for Big Nige.
Thank you.
Looking forward to it. I know there's not currently a record. We are setting a record on that beer bong. I'm telling you right now.
Right.
It'll stand for a long damn time.
He's calling his shot. That's Guy Relford. We've got another hour to go. We'll get you up to date on Michael Cohen. He's testifying today against Donald Trump. The biggest stories in Indy, and we've got Indy 500 tickets still to give away. Don't go anywhere. Having a good time on this Monday. This is the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Sinus pressure, congestion, snoring, being unable to sleep, being unable to breathe. Yep, it's another sinus infection. You've Googled, watched videos, tried over-the-counter sprays, medications, and home remedies, but nothing ever works. There must be some kind of treatment that can help, right? Indianapolis Sinus Center understands how draining it can be when you try treatment after treatment without any relief. That's why they've been serving and treating the community for over 50 years. Indianapolis Sinus Center has performed thousands of procedures and helped thousands of patients find lasting relief they didn't know was possible. Patients like you. If you've had enough of sinus pain, pressure, and congestion, schedule a visit with Indianapolis Sinus Center today. Call 317-528-9650 and take the first step toward breathing easy. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650 or visit IndianapolisSinusCenter.com.
Always at the forefront of new technology, Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies.
Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services,
No,
even
but-
for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
No, see-
Afflicted. No, affected was right.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters ASE technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye.
No, but-
Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Your home is your sanctuary. Get the peace of mind you deserve with a free estimate on a Generac automatic standby generator for your home from Generator Supercenter, the nation's #1 Generac generator dealer. With expert installation and 24-hour monitoring, Generator Supercenter won't leave you in the dark. Financing is available. Take control of your power today with Generator Supercenter. Call 317-827-0808. Generator Supercenter of Indianapolis, 317-827-0808.
That's Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
Are you thinking about your next home improvement project, but you need more than a window replacement? Whether it's siding, entry doors, or maybe a bath or shower remodel, design it before you buy it. That's right. B's using the latest in technology to create an architectural design so you can see our products on your house before you purchase.
For a limited time, receive 50% off all products plus 12 months, no interest, no payments.
Faber's Bean Window. Trust me.
BoerRemodeling.com. Serving Central Indiana for 23 years. These are your kitchen and bathroom remodeling specialists. When you're ready to make the change, they're ready for you. It's a new year, so it's time to get it done. That kitchen, that heart of the home, the bathroom, a place where you can actually relax and build instant equity in your home. 317-852-5546 or online at Boer, B-O-O-H-E-R, BoerRemodeling.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, a 21-year-old died after being stuck in a trench in Noblesville this morning. Why a SWAT team was called to a home in Indianapolis Sunday night, and Ryan Hedrick reports on an argument to legalize weed in Indiana. That's all coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 4 o'clock.
They're redoubling diplomacy. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. That message from the White House on the war in Gaza. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says the U.S. will continue leading efforts to surge humanitarian aid, but he also says the U.S. wants to see Hamas defeated.
We believe Israel can and must do more to ensure the protection and well-being of innocent civilians. We do not believe what is happening in Gaza is a genocide. We have been firmly on record rejecting that proposition.
And Sullivan says Hamas puts civilians in the crossfire. He also says the U.S. is still working with Israel on a better way to ensure the defeat of Hamas, and that a major military operation in the city of Rafah would be a mistake. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu marking Israel's Independence Day by vowing again to bring all of the hostages home, living and dead. Former President Trump telling reporters outside a New York courtroom that his hush money trial is a political witch hunt, with former attorney Michael Cohen testifying today about payments he made to Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election. He is insisting that this was a campaign-related issue for the former president, while the defense has tried to argue that it has more to do with family considerations. Prosecutors say the former president falsified business records when reimbursing Cohen. Potential jurors have just been dismissed for the day at the federal corruption trial of New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez, accused of taking bribes to help the Egyptian and Qatari governments and 2 businessmen. His wife facing a separate trial. So far, 38 potential jurors have been excused. The judge says questions will resume tomorrow, but the attorneys and defendants have remained in the courtroom. A mixed finish on Wall Street. The Dow down 81 points at the bell. America is listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The walls had caved in. Mostly sunny, 79 degrees on the monuments. Radar clear as well, low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 4:02. Construction outside of a car wash in Noblesville led to a fatal accident earlier today. Sam Fritz reports.
A man has died, according to the Noblesville Fire Department, after falling in a trench just outside of a crew car wash at the intersection of 146th Street and River Road. The man was installing a water pipe when he fell into the trench, which was 8 feet deep, and the walls collapsed. The NFD say that at one point, up to 26 firefighters were on the scene as a part of the rescue operation. The man had been pulled from the trench just after noon on Monday. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
That man was later identified as Sean Young, a 21-year-old. After finding one person with a weapon on the east side of Indianapolis Sunday night, IMPD Lieutenant Vincent Turner says they learned something else was going on at a nearby home.
Upon further investigation, it led them to believe that there were suspects along with the victim inside the residence.
SWAT was called in to clear the scene and make arrests. One person inside the home was wounded and later taken to a hospital. An argument for legalizing pot. Ryan Hedrick reports.
Veterans suffering with PTSD would benefit from medical use marijuana, says State Senator Rodney Pohl.
And I keep telling them, I'm fighting for you. I'm fighting to get this done here. They're not talking to me about other issues. That's the issue that they're talking to me about, is when are you going to move forward on marijuana?
Pohl tells Indy Politics that veterans tell him that the benefits of taking marijuana for their ailments far outweigh the benefits of taking opiates. Pohl expects the next legislative session to include discussions about medicinal use marijuana. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC, Mobile News.
And the playoff series between the Pacers and New York Knicks is even at 2-2 after Indiana took Game 4 Sunday.
Just about everything this time of year is a one-game season, or feels like it. Every game is monumentally important. Getting down 0-2 is difficult. It's a big hole.
Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle. The Game 5 is back in New York tomorrow night. Tip-off is at 8. You're 1 minute away from traffic and weather. It's 4:04.
Get ready for storm season, because you know as well as I do, storms in Indiana can be fierce and they can come out of nowhere. So don't wait for a leak to have your roof inspected. Have peace of mind about your roof being able to handle any storm. Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com provides free inspections and can spot potential issues before they turn into costly repairs. Whether you're looking for a siding replacement after a strong wind or a roof replacement after a hailstorm, Moss Roofing has options that fit any budget. Just ask Moss Roofing about their payment plans. No matter your situation, Moss Roofing has you covered with a job done right every single time. I love that. That's very funny. Contact Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
With traffic on the 5s at 4:05. What's going on, Matt Bear?
Harrison, we're going from Indianapolis to Shelbyville, and eastbound 74 is closed to Fairland Road. This is because of, and we just learned this, a fatal crash on eastbound 74 to the west of Shelbyville. So we're shut down at Fairland, and traffic is being diverted there if you want to avoid some of the back roads of Shelby County. And if you're unfamiliar with that territory, I would use southbound 65 to State Road 44. That's Franklin, exit 90, and head east from there. That's really good for semis and bigger vehicles, as a matter of fact. Also looking at eastbound 70, that's now jammed from Belmont to the south. A split, you turn north, and you will be stopped and go from the south split up to Washington Street. The stall cleared coming into downtown on southbound 65. Still slow, MLK to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention Indy homeowners. Is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers are possible tonight with lows in the low 60s. Tuesday will feature on and off showers and storms with heavier rainfall potential at times, with highs only in the low 70s, which is near normal for this time of the year. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on The Level on the Go and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel.
Can you believe these characters
are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer is here. There's a guy named Michael Cohen who is known as Donald Trump's fixer. He was his lawyer. He is the one that cut Stormy Daniels a check, a legal non-disclosure agreement, saying that she would not blab about their alleged affair back in the early 2000s. He has since lied to Congress. He's lied to the IRS. He's been in federal prison. And now he's testifying against Donald Trump in the hush money case in Manhattan.
So we are expected to believe everything coming out of mouth of the same dude who made false statements to Congress, tax evasion, and spent 3 years in the federal joint?
Yes, of course.
That's the big star witness?
It is the prosecution's star witness. Like, Stormy Daniels had no relevancy whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. That was just a political ploy to shame and embarrass the president, the former president. And Michael Cohen is there now testifying. Well, he's back on the stand right now.
So earlier today, Cohen testified that he would often lie to others for former President Trump because it, quote, was needed in order to accomplish the task. So he's a professional liar. That's what this guy has been doing his whole life. Cohen also said that he would bully people. Now, take that for what you mean. I don't think he's physically beating people up, but verbally and threatening them with legal action or whatever. Bully people because the only thing on his mind was to accomplish the task and keep Donald Trump happy. These are things we learned in the courtroom today. Again, the defense, the prosecution, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. we could have a situation where this thing might end later this week. Most likely next week.
I don't know. I mean, again, Trump is accused of misclassifying accounting records in terms of what payments went where, and did he break any campaign finance laws. And there's also another charge that we don't even know what it is. I don't know, man. I think it's Manhattan. You've said it yourself, Hammer. It's a tainted jury. It's a tainted judge that's donated to anti-Republican causes, that's donated to Joe Biden's campaign. I don't think he's going to – I mean, I don't know that he's going to jail over this, but I don't think he's going to get a fair shot at all.
It's a total Mickey Mouse court situation. That's what's happening here. It's a horrifically one-sided trial. And unfortunately, as bad as this may be, like there's no real evidence, there's no real smoking gun yet in this trial. This partisan jury and this partisan judge, they're going to throw the book at the dude. Donald Trump is scheduled to speak outside the court here sometime soon. He spoke before court proceedings earlier this morning.
This all comes from Biden and the White House, by the way. And they have their top people here. Because when he can't put two sentences together, he's the worst president in the history of our country. Can't speak, can't walk off a helicopter, can't walk off a plane, can't walk off a stage. And the only way they think they can win is if they can do something with Trump. Because we have an incompetent, the worst president in the history of the United States of America.
Trump up there dropping WWE promos. The only thing missing was him at the end saying, if you smell what the Donald is cooking.
But he's right. I mean, Alvin Bragg, Fannie Willis, the deranged prosecutor Jack Smith in the Florida documents case. They've all met with the Department of Justice. They've all met with the Biden administration. Why is that? That's unusual, wouldn't you think?
It is. And if you're listening and you're thinking, oh, you're just sticking up for Donald Trump. That's so WIBC. You're just sticking up for Donald Trump. How about this? This is from CNN. Fareed Zakaria.
And the trials against him keep him in the spotlight, infuriate his base, and even may serve to make him the object of some sympathy among people in general who believe that his prosecutors are politically motivated. This happens to be true, in my opinion. I doubt the New York indictment would have been brought against a defendant whose name was not Donald Trump. A majority of Americans are skeptical that Trump will be able to get a fair trial, according to a CNN poll.
I'm sorry, that was a Fox News analyst, a legal analyst?
No, that would be CNN. CNN.
Oh, okay.
And, okay, fine. That's one clip. How about another one here? Now, you know my thoughts on Bill Maher. I'm not somebody that gushes over this new Bill Maher where he realizes how crazy the leftists are.
He will argue that he's not new, that he's always been this way. He's been a traditional Democrat, and it's the left that's gone the other direction. Just putting that out there.
And that's fine. And I counter by saying you helped create these lunatics. For years, these were the people you had on your show, and you carried the water for these out-of-touch lunatics, and now they're turning on you, and you can't believe what's happened. All right, that discussion aside, take a listen to what Bill Maher has to say about Stormy Daniels.
And first I asked her why she had sex with Trump. Listen to that, and then listen to what she says after that, and then we're going to talk about the trial, because it's quite at variance of what she said to me in 2018. Why did you Donald Trump?
I have no idea.
Okay, but you say it's not a Me Too case.
It is not a Me Too case. I mean, I wasn't assaulted. I wasn't attacked or raped or coerced or blackmailed. They tried to shove me in the Me Too box to further their own agenda. And first of all, I didn't want any part of that because it's not the truth, and I'm not a victim in that regard.
That's not what she's saying now. She's talking about he was bigger and blocking the way. It's all the Me Too buzzwords. She said there was a power imbalance of power, for sure. My hands were shaking so hard. She said she blacked out. Blacked out? She's a porn star. Porn star is used to having sex with people she does not know. That's the job.
So we've heard from CNN and Bill Maher that everything we've seen in this trial so far against Donald Trump has been a nothing burger.
But again, I don't understand the relevancy or the points of her testimony anyway, other than, again, to shame Donald Trump and his family and wife, kids, and maybe a few evangelical voters.
Right.
I can't believe. I don't see it. I don't get it.
One thing we are seeing is that the polls are favoring Donald Trump right now. A bunch of different polls just got released. The New York Times, Siena College, Philadelphia Inquirer, and for the most part, they're all pretty much locked in with the same data that shows Donald Trump leading in these key swing states: Arizona, Georgia, Michigan, Nevada, Pennsylvania. Only Wisconsin shows Joe Biden on top in some of these key swing states right now. Now, a couple of these are within the margin of error or the margin of mail-in ballots that arrive at 2, 3, 4 in the morning. But in Nevada right now, Trump's up by like 12, 13%.
But do you think some of these, what you're seeing here is not a result of what he's going through legally with all these different, because I think the general population really doesn't understand or know all these different charges in all these different states, but they do know their gas prices. They do know the grocery prices. They do know, they do understand that it's impossible to get a loan for a house, that their rent is going up.
Right.
That's what's really going on here.
And I do think there are a lot of people who, and you're right, they might not understand what each of these trials is about, but collectively, they see the political machine trying to keep this guy from running. Why is that? Why are they doing that? Here is the election team, the pollsters of CNN.
Look, these Sunbelt battleground states, frankly, for the Joe Biden campaign, these numbers are an absolute disaster. The smallest lead is in Arizona for Donald Trump. He's up 6. Look at this, 9 in Georgia, 13 in Nevada. My goodness gracious, my God. That is a huge lead. No Democrat has lost that state since John Kerry lost it back in 2004.
That was analyst for Fox News?
Nope, that's CNN once again.
Oh.
So there you go.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
All right, Matt Bear, I understand we've got a lot of bad news out there, man.
Yeah, Hammer, eastbound 74 heading from Indianapolis to Shelbyville is closed here this evening. That is because of a crash, and right now traffic is being diverted to Fairland Road. We also have a 3-mile backup before Fairland Road, so what I am doing is I'm skipping eastbound 74 altogether and using southbound 65 to Franklin, exiting at State Road 44, then heading east from there. All of that is at WIBC Traffic if we want to check it out before you head out. Also looking at eastbound 70, stopped from Tibbs Avenue into the South Split. Westbound 70 from downtown to the airport, stop and go traffic. West Street out to Tibbs Avenue, and inbound 65 grinding from MLK to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention Indy homeowners, is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 right now at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Is this anything? Next.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Hey guys, it's Rob from my friends at Universal Windows Direct. Spring is here and it's only going to get hotter. Call my guys at Universal Windows Direct. At Universal Windows Direct, their super spacer technology makes their windows last up to 5 times longer than other Windows systems. So your windows from Universal Windows Direct perform better and last longer. Plus, Universal Windows Direct backs it up with a true 20-year warranty. And listen to this deal going on with Universal Windows Direct. Call today at 317-659-7574, and for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There's no limit. Plus, what a deal, 0% financing for 60 months. That's right, 0% financing for 60 months. Restrictions apply. For the last windows you'll ever need, go to uwd.com, uwd.com, uwd.com.
PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is your place for fine jewelry, custom pieces, one-of-a-kind pieces, vintage pieces, and also your place to sell jewelry. 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms. You have old jewelry from grandma or jewelry you don't wear anymore? Come sell it for top dollar at PA Jewelers. I've sold jewelry there. My wife has. You're going to love the prices. PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg, premierarms.com.
Dents happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
20% off container trees and shrubs and 30% off perennials this week at Miss M's Home and Garden in Bargersville, State Road 135 south of Whiteland Road.
This hour on WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, designers of fine custom jewelry.
Hammer and Nigel presents
It depends upon what the meaning of the word is.
Is this anything?
All right, let's rock and roll.
Hammer, how do we play Is This Anything?
I'm going to run some stories by you. You break down all of the information and give us a verdict. Is the story in question anything or not? We start with this. A YouTube streamer in Los Angeles broadcasted herself smoking weed and then driving and running over a pedestrian. This is the moment that VP hit a woman.
No, he does hear those voices. They're not fake, but I wonder if Oh my God, are you okay? No. I didn't see her. Why are you not looking? I was looking. I didn't see you. Oh my God, you guys. I don't know what just happened, but it wasn't good. All right, guys, here's your content for the day.
Yeah, great content. You're smoking weed, driving a car, you hit a pedestrian on a bicycle. Now, she wasn't arrested, by the way. The cop let her go.
Why? That's ridiculous.
She said, quote, it was really scary. She admitted stating the accident happened due to the sun blinding her, and it had nothing to do with any drug use or looking at the chat. Well, again, that's another aspect. She's streaming live, probably looking at the chat, answering questions, and it's a bunch of BS. And I don't, the story doesn't say why the officer didn't arrest her.
See, that's on the officer then, because that woman warranted being taken in.
Yes.
I'm not trying to stick up for people who get DUIs. Trust me, I'm not. But somebody that's listening right now has probably got popped for a DUI and taken to jail. This woman was smoking weed, streaming live, looking at her phone, and hit a pedestrian.
VP, is that what you said her name was? Ugh. Enough with the influencers and the streamers. I've had enough of it.
The only VP I celebrate is Village Pantry. Is this anything?
Of course you do.
28-year-old female postal worker in Ohio was caught racing a Mustang in her United States Postal Service mail van. So, tail of the tape here. On one side, you've got the mail truck. On the other side, you've got a Mustang.
Okay.
She was going more than 100 miles per hour in a 60. She got off with a verbal warning plus a $50 fine for the traffic violation. Here's the officer questioning Drew Brown after he pulled her over.
Is there a reason you're going over 100?
I didn't realize that I was going that fast.
Yeah. I mean, that Mustang took off. He caught my attention, and you blew by him, and I was pacing you at like 105.
I shouldn't have gotten.
Did you know the person in the Mustang?
No.
Okay.
They were driving around ridiculous on 590. But...
I kind of assumed when the way they took off and at the light there, because I was right across from you.
Right.
So he saw me coming up behind him, and he did the right thing and stopped or slowed down, and then you continued.
This is something, especially if the Mustang. He said the Mustang stopped. Did I hear him correctly? I read part of this story. I don't know if the Mustang was ticketed or not, because the Mustang was. If they were racing, then yeah, you're going to get tickets. So what did she get? Like a $50 fine and a warning?
Right.
100 miles per hour in a post office mail van? That's impressive.
I was going to say, I think the officer was like, I want to fine you more, but damn, you're dropping the hammer in a mail truck. Salute.
By the way, just a side note, we're all familiar with the official mailman of the Hammer and Nigel show.
Yes.
My buddy Justin. He's currently down in Florida. And
okay.
He just sent me a video involving this bar called the Undertow in St. Pete and some scantily clad women. I'm going to post it. He didn't want me to, but I'm going to post it.
Okay.
So check back at the Facebook page, the Twitter, the Instagram. I'm going to post it. It's quite an interesting video.
At Hammer and Nigel. That's where
Yes.
you can find us. Make sure you follow us. We got to get those follow numbers up a little bit more, but you're calling it out. You're posting the video.
Oh, you're
of
going to
the-
want to see this.
the official mailman.
These chicks are hot. I've been to this bar before.
Is this anything? Thomas Jefferson University in Philadelphia had to apologize after a bunch of nursing students' names were mispronounced at their graduation. The woman reading these names just butchered a ton of the names. And the thing is, some of these names weren't even hard, like Elizabeth and Thomas.
Victoria Lee Zubik-Ross. What the heck? Victoria Elizabeth. Gross. Not what she said. Marlena. Oh, Melanie. Zubik. Molly. Ha. Carolina Urina. Tamume. Thomas.
The damn school's named Thomas.
She couldn't pronounce Thomas.
Thomas
How did
Jefferson
she
University.
say Elizabeth? Oh, wow. They're blaming it on poor phonetic spelling of the cards that she was reading. No.
Who needs to have Thomas written out phonetically? Who needs to have Elizabeth written out phonetically?
It's funny, they actually switched out different announcers halfway through.
They went to the bullpen.
Yeah, they went to the bullpen. Like a lot of people are saying, Ron.
Right. It's just like the old Key and Peele skit.
I'm y'all substitute teacher, Mr. Garvey. I taught school for 20 years in the inner city, so don't even think about messing with me. Let's take a roll here. Jay Quellen. Where's Jay Quellen at?
Do you mean Jacqueline?
Okay, so that's how it's gonna be. I've got my eye on you, Jay Quellen. Balake. Where is Balake at?
My name's Blake.
D nice. Is there a D nice? Now D nice.
Do you mean Denise?
Now, Ron. Where are you? Where is Ron right now? No Ron, huh?
Here.
Why didn't you answer me the first time I said it, huh? I'm just asking you. I said it like 4 times. So why didn't you say it the first time I said Ron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
Son of a... You done messed up, Ron.
That was the person reading the names at the graduation ceremony. It's the Hammer and Nigel show.
Hammer and Nigel here. Hammer, this is actually pretty amazing. If you could get a 15% upfront bonus on your money and a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years, what would you say?
Abso-freaking-lutely. And that's what Bill Demery can offer you right now. A 15% upfront bonus when you invest your money. And what I love about Bill Demery, I've met with him. He can explain this stuff in a way that I can understand. He breaks it down, and it's so easy, Nige.
You know, there's a lot of advisors on this station, but we only put our name on one advisor that we trust, both of us, and that's Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Help take care of your hard-earned money and reach out to Bill Demery right now. 317-648-5120. Ask about the 15% upfront bonus. 317-648-5120. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
Attention Indiana homeowners, are you dealing with a wet and moldy crawl space? Hi, I'm Adam Swain with Swain Co. Crawl Space and Basement Repair, your real, local, Indiana family-owned experts dedicated to fixing your crawl space right the first time. And with our new no interest, no payment financing, you can get the repairs you need without breaking the bank. Don't let crawl space water problems dampen your spirits. Call Swain Co., Indy's most trusted waterproofing experts at 317-407-1868 or swaincollc.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Why firefighters were at a car wash. 79 degrees, cloudy downtown. Nothing to worry about on your radar. You'll have a low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox for Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 4:31. A contractor installing a water pipe at a crew car wash in Noblesville died after falling in a trench today.
It's a pretty labor-intensive project, and we were able to eventually extricate him from the dirt and lift him out.
Trevor Hash with the Noblesville Fire Department says 21-year-old Sean Young was pronounced dead at the scene after he was pulled from the trench. A group of people carjacked a rideshare driver just after midnight Sunday. Donnie Burgess reports one of those suspects was 16 years old.
The victim says the group put guns in his face and demanded the car. The suspects were tracked to North Keystone about 2 hours later. Most of the crew made a run for it, except for the driver, who was arrested. Police managed to grab one more suspect, later confirmed to be just 16 years old. They're facing armed robbery charges. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Donald Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, is testifying today in the former president's hush money trial in New York.
He talked about how this happened right after the release of the Access Hollywood tape, and he spoke about former President Trump's reaction when he brought that news to him, saying that Trump was very angry. Cohen claims that Trump told him to take care of it, fearing that women wouldn't vote for him in the 2016 presidential election. Cohen claims Trump said women are going to hate me as a result of it.
Fox's Nate Foy. Cohen pleaded guilty to making false statements before Congress in 2018. Trump continues to say that he's innocent in the case, which involves several charges of him falsifying business records. The White House is not budging on their stance over a potential invasion of Rafah by Israel. They're not going to provide the country more firepower if they do invade.
We still believe it would be a mistake to launch a major military operation into the heart of Rafah that would put huge numbers of civilians at risk without a clear strategic gain.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, he says Israel needs to do more to protect civilians. And the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.58, according to Gas Buddy. It's a couple cents cheaper than the national average. And at the closing bell, the Dow fell by 81 points to 39,431. The Nasdaq was up by 47 to 16,388. To the S&P 500 dropping by a point to 5,221. Traffic and weather in 1 minute. It's 4:33.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
With traffic at 4:34, here's Matt Baer.
All right, Harrison, eastbound as 74 heading from Indianapolis to Shelbyville is closed because of a fatal crash. Traffic being diverted at Fairland Road right now, and before that it's about a 3-mile backup. You can either use the county roads around Shelbyville or you can use southbound 65 to State Road 44 in Franklin. All of that at WIBC Traffic. Downtown eastbound 70 stop and go from Belmont to the South Split exit, North Slope to the Washington Street exit. Westbound 70 stop and go traffic from the South Split past Belmont. Inbound 65 loaded from MLK to Meridian. Pain delay continues from the North Split down to Washington Street. And on the northwest side, southbound 65 stop and go traffic from 86th Street to 71st. Traffic sponsored by Driven to Save Lives. This may be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers are possible tonight with lows in the low 60s. Tuesday will feature on and off showers and storms with heavier rainfall potential at times, with highs only in the low 70s, which is near normal for this time of the year. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level on the go and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
I think it's hilarious that there was like a handful of Duke University students that walked out of graduation ceremony over the weekend because of Jerry Seinfeld's support for Israel. He was giving the commencement speech, or he was one of the speakers at the commencement. His kids, I think his daughter graduated from Duke, and his son is getting ready to go to Duke. And like, they got their diplomas, and then they walked out, and then chanting stuff about Free Palestine.
But they made sure they had their diplomas first, because that was more important than, anything else.
Yeah. And I think, like, what's getting lost in all this, I watched most of Jerry's speech. No politics. It was no hot button topics. It was like him giving advice to kids that have just graduated and are going out into the world. It's a great speech. And nobody really acknowledged the 30 students that walked out. Some people were booing, I think.
But it's just a small portion.
Yes. There were 7,000. I think there were 7,000 graduates. And 30 out of the 7,000 walked out.
But
and
according to Twitter, it was a big deal.
Exactly. And I feel like that's what Twitter is when we see these kinds of things.
This is like the most white thing imaginable. Spoiled trust fund kids at Duke upset about something that has nothing to do with them walking out on Jerry Seinfeld. The only thing missing here is if like Larry Bird introduced Taylor Swift to play the graduation song. That's like the bingo card for like entitled white people stuff right there. We're so angry, we're going to walk out on Jerry Seinfeld.
Oh, have you seen the new, Allison was talking about the new movie on Netflix.
Yeah, Jerry Seinfeld's new movie, Unfrosted. It's on Netflix, and it's about basically the story of the Pop-Tart. It's not really, just spoiler alert. But it's pretty good. It's very slapstick. It's very Jerry Seinfeld. He'd also directed it. So if you're a fan of him, I'd suggest watching it.
I'm a huge fan. I've heard positive things about the movie, although it was their lowest rated #1 debuting movie in the past year. In other words, it debuted at #1, but only got like 7 million views when Kevin Hart's movie got like 30 million or something like that.
Right.
We talked about it last week. I can't wait to see it. And he's been doing some good podcasts, too.
He has
promoting
been.
the movie.
Just go back to this Duke thing for just a moment. I'm trying to get inside the mind of one of these students.
Okay.
After I get my diploma, I'm going to stick it to Bibi Netanyahu. I can't believe he's going to go into Rafah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk out on Jerry Seinfeld. That will teach Netanyahu. Like, in their mind, do they think Bibi's sitting back in his office, like, scrambling for the phone and, oh, my God, did you see?
Call the head of the IDF.
Do you see what's happening?
Get out of Gaza now. Get out of Rafah.
Duke white kids are walking out on Jerry Seinfeld. Maybe we've been wrong about this whole thing. Abort! Abort! Get everybody from Hamas and Gaza together right now. We're going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. We were wrong. Thank you so much, Duke University white kids. You pointed it out. God bless you. I never saw it coming until you walked out on Jerry Seinfeld. I hate these people.
Oh, I do too. They're the worst. They're the worst. And they're not really endearing anybody to their cause when you shut down traffic on the Golden Gate Bridge for 5 hours.
They're ticking more people off. You remember who Jen Psaki is, right, Nige? The name ring a bell?
Can you help? Give me a hint.
Okay, here. Donald Trump will give you a hint.
The press secretary with the extremely red hair.
Now you know who we're talking about, right?
Biden's former press secretary, of course.
She's now a host at MSNBC.
Oh, she considers herself a journalist at MSNBC.
Okay. Well, she's got a horrible book coming out. And I say horrible because she's already having to make edits in it. In this book that she's rolling out there called Say More, that's the name of the book, she claims that after the horrific botched withdrawal in Afghanistan, when the dignified transfer was taking place and the bodies of the
Dover,
brave men and women were being returned home to their families, that Joe Biden didn't look at his watch.
She said that?
In the book.
There's pictures of it.
Thank you. There are multiple pictures of it. He looked at his watch 3 times. And as a matter of fact, we even had Gold Star parents testifying to Congress that it was insulting. Let's go back about a year ago. This is Mark Schmitz. He's a Gold Star father. His son Jared was a Marine who lost his life in that Afghan withdrawal. This is what he testified to Congress over a year ago.
Well, I stood there on the tarmac watching you check your watch over and over again. All I wanted to do was shout out, "It's 2:30, asshole." But out of respect to the other grieving families, I bit my tongue once again. Well, as you could probably tell by now, I'm done biting my tongue.
He said that in front of Congress?
Yes, sir. And I will give that man a standing ovation. And for Jen Psaki to put in her book that he never did that. I mean, again, we talk about this a lot. These people just surround themselves with nothing but butt sniffers that agree with everything they say. But yet when you get outside of your inner circle, people will push back on you and call you out. I'm sure Jen Psaki probably had a team of yes men and yes women. Oh, great book, Jen. We love the book, Jen. Your red hair looks great, Jen. And she pushes it out there, and it's all crap. She's lying out of her teeth to make this geriatric old goat look like he's a better guy than he really is. And we all saw him looking at his watch. Multiple pictures have it. This is laughable. And it was Axios that really called out Jen Psaki here. So,
not exactly a Trump-supporting news outlet.
No, this wasn't Breitbart. This wasn't Fox News. Axios was the one that pushed back on Jen Psaki saying, well, the old senile bastard did look at his watch. Maybe you want to address that moving forward.
We have a statement from Jen Psaki, if you'd like to hear it.
Please.
Psaki initially declined to comment, but after this story was published, she said in a statement that the detail in a few lines of the book about the exact number of times he'd looked at his watch will be removed in future reprints.
Narrator. Detail mean bold-faced lie. That's what detail means.
The statement that the lies in a few lines of this book will be replaced or removed.
So ridiculous.
Wow.
Oh, these people, man. Just a little heads up. The Indiana Department of Transportation is going to be breaking out the old metering system for when you want to merge onto the highway in certain places, starting as early as tomorrow. Now, Matt Baird talked about this on Friday when he joined us for his weekly segment, but this is supposed to start tomorrow. So if you're on the south side, let's say you're on Emerson Avenue in Beech Grove, and you're getting ready to get back on the highway, you might see these functioning stoplights now, to where in the past, you would just get on the ramp, merge with traffic, like we've always done. Now, you're going to have to be on the lookout. You might have to stop. You might have to go a little slow. You might have to creep. And when that light changes, you got to drop the hammer and merge onto the highway. Other states have these. Other states and cities do this. And the feedback we've received here is once you get the hang of it, it's not bad. But I'm telling you, man, the folks in my hood, the south side, we struggle with the roundabout.
You struggle with the stop sign.
Right.
How are you going to do the meters?
Now we're asking all of my fine groovy Grovers to stop on the ramp before you get onto 465. So just a heads up, that may be starting tomorrow. All right, let's give away some tickets to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500-mile race. Caller number 9, 239-9393. We got a fun little game you're going to play. We try to make these as easy as possible, but you got to earn it. Caller number 9, 239-9393. 2 tickets to the Indy 500. Good luck.
Who is the only real estate expert I would trust with the sale of my home, and I would also trust with finding me a new home? It's Mark Dietl. It happened with Dan and Casey in Indianapolis. They were ready to downsize. They needed to sell quickly, but to make it all work, they needed to get a great price, of course. Mark Dietl made it happen. They got their asking price fast without any repairs or appraisals. The Mark Dietl team delivered exactly what they needed.
Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. That is the Mark Dietl guarantee. Pick your move date, no long-term contracts, and you can cancel at any time. Call Mark Dietl today, 317-755-4232. He's the only agent we trust and recommend on the Hammer and Nigel show. You can also go online to markdietl.com. That's Mark, D-I-E-T-E-L, markdietl.com.
Are you dealing with foot, knee, hip, or back pain? Well, it sounds like you could use a spring in your step. Hi, this is Phoebe with the Good Feet store, and I've got just the thing to help you spring forward into comfort. Good Feet's unique, patented 3-step arch support system is designed to reduce pressure on your joints to keep you feeling energized all day long, even when you're running on an hour's less sleep. With less pressure on your joints, you'll also experience less pain and discomfort too. When you visit the Good Feet store, we'll take time with you to figure out what you need on your free personalized fitting. You can also take all the time you need to walk in-store to feel the Good Feet difference personalized for your feet, your shoes, and your lifestyle. Most of our customers say they feel relief immediately, and you can too. Make your appointment today at goodfeet.com. Don't just live with the pain. Discover your options and spring into comfort at the Good Feet store. Come in today for your free personalized fitting and test walk. We're in your neighborhood. Visit goodfeet.com to find the location nearest to you.
Chapters of this story take a whole month to tell. This is May. The intensity, action, and drama of the month of May continues as PPG presents Armed Forces Indy 500 qualifying. Then get ready to live it up at Indy's biggest party, Miller Lite Carb Day. And all roads lead to the 108th running of the Indianapolis 500 presented by Gainbridge. May is yours. May is ours. This is May. Buy now and save. Get tickets at IMS.com.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning. Owner Robert Kirby reminds us why maintenance is so important.
Driving your car every day, it's kind of easy to remember to maintain your car, but you're not really always interacting with your heating and air system. So that's why the maintenance agreement is so important, that we come out and check that equipment, maintain it, clean it, make sure it's running its optimal efficiency, also to keep the warranty up.
Schedule today at KirbyHeating.com. Kirby Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Race into Pierce Jewelers in Carmel for a pit stop to find that perfect diamond engagement ring for your loved one that will put you in the winner's circle. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Tune in Saturdays 9 to 1 for the Home and Garden Show for advice and fun, brought to you by Michaelis. Water, storms, fire, and wet basements. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
This May, you can be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives.
You definitely need to see the video that is now posted of the official mailman of the Hammer and Nigel show doing things in the great state of Florida.
I watched him.
Go to our Facebook, go to our Twitter right now at Hammer and Nigel. Nige has got it posted.
Yeah, this is a buddy of mine. And it's at a bar we always used to go to when we'd, the dudes would go down there.
Sure.
The Undertow.
Yes.
In St. Pete.
So if you want to see it, go to our Facebook, Twitter, and check it out at Hammer and Nigel, Matt Bear.
All right, we're looking at westbound 70 coming out of downtown. Stop and go traffic from the south split out to Belmont, and eastbound 70 stop and go from Belmont into the south split. Now eastbound 74 from Indianapolis down to Shelbyville is closed right now, and the closure is at Fairland Road with traffic backed up several miles from there. If you want to reroute, this is a fatal crash that closes interstate, by the way, eastbound 74. If you'd like to reroute, use 65 southbound to Franklin and then State Road 44 from there. Also inbound 69 now loaded from 96th Street down to 82nd. Traffic sponsored by Visit Myrtle Beach. Be your best self in the place where you belong, the beach. Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Plan your trip to the beach at visitmyrtlebeach.com. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Right now, we've got sunshine, 79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center, and it's time to play Former Winner or Famous for Dinner.
And now, time to play Former Winner.
It's a drag race. Marco Andretti, Hornish, who's gonna win? At the stripe, it's Hornish wins.
Or Famous for Dinner.
You do seriously surprise me. Thank you, Chef. You surprise me to how you are.
Former Winner or Famous for Dinner.
Pat happened to be caller number 9. Pat, how the heck are you?
I'm great.
So this is how this is going to work. I'm going to give you the name of someone. It will either be a former winner of the Indianapolis 500 or someone who's a famous chef, somebody who is famous for dinner. You get 2 out of 3 correct. We're going to give you tickets to the 108th running, okay?
All righty.
Here we go. Number 1, former winner or famous for dinner, Dario Franchitti.
Winner.
Yes, winner.
Good job, Pat.
Get this one right, we throw a party. The former winner, famous for dinner, Guy Fieri.
Dinner.
Yeah! There we go!
Don't talk about Pat.
Pat, big time effort right there. Stay on the line, and Allison will take care of you, okay?
Thanks. Appreciate it.
You got it.
I like Pat. I don't know why, but I like her.
106-year-old guy in Texas, Nige.
Yeah.
Has reclaimed the record for the oldest skydiver. So let me ask you this.
Oh, wow.
Let's just say your old man becomes 106 and he wants to skydive. You letting him?
Yeah. I mean, at this point, you're playing with house money if you're 106 years old. Yeah. If you want to go skydiving, Dad, go for it.
But would you live with yourself, though? Because we always hear about the success stories. Let's say he's 106. He has a heart attack coming down. His chute doesn't open up and he splats the ground.
Man, the chute not opening up is one thing. But if you have a heart attack mid-flight or mid-jump, you're dying doing what you love to do, so be it. 106, I think, says it all.
Maybe subconsciously he was hoping he would die during that jump. God, another year on this planet? Let me just jump out of a plane. Which brings us to great moments in world record history.
Hello.
Here's the guy that set the world record by smashing 273 walnuts with his forehead.
The sound is hilarious, but you have to look that up on Twitter or YouTube. I mean, it's literally a guy going down the row of going down the table of walnuts, smashing every one of them with his forehead.
I think at this year's A Night with WIBC, Matt Baer should try to break that record.
Oh, I love it. That's such a great idea.
Great moments in world record history. This was the attempt at the world's longest cry.
We need to do that at A Night with WIBC and make Allison do it.
No, I think Allison's earmarked for the lowest vocal note sung by a female.
Yes!
Yep.
Allison, with the few remaining seconds we have left, see how low you could go.
Mike Pence used to sit in this chair.
I love it. I love it.
Doesn't get any better than this, does it, Allison? Dreams come true.
Every day.
The Hammer and Nigel Show.
Get ready for storm season because you know as well as I do, storms in Indiana can be fierce and they can come out of nowhere. So don't wait for a leak to have your roof inspected. Have peace of mind about your roof being able to handle any storm. Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com provides free inspections and can spot potential issues before they turn into costly repairs. Whether you're looking for a siding replacement after a strong wind or a roof replacement after a hailstorm, Moss Roofing has options that fit any budget. Just ask Moss Roofing about their payment plans. No matter your situation, Moss Roofing has you covered with a job done right every single time. I love that. That's very funny. Contact Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Cat sent you. Moss Roofing, 747-3665 or online at Moss, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
Paid by Up-Level Rewards.
Hey, where did you get all that cash at?
You mean this 750 cash that's in my app right now?
Yes, that's 750 cash. Where did you get all that cash at?
Easy. I went to easycash44.com and claimed $750.
You claimed $750?
Yes. Just go to the easycash44.com and follow the simple instructions on the site. Once you finish, the $750 is yours.
It's that easy to claim $750?
Yes. You just answer the basic questions on the site, then claim the deals they show you and get $750 cash sent to your app.
I'm always short on cash. I'm going to easycash44.com right now to claim my $750 cash at easycash44.com.
Ready to claim your $750? Get started right now at easycash44.com. Go to easycash44.com. Just go to easycash44.com, follow the simple instructions, and claim your $750 fast and easy. Go to easycash44.com. That's easycash44.com. Go to easycash44.com. easycash44.com. easycash44.com.
When you hit the pump, make a better choice for your wallet and for the environment. Fuel up with Indiana-grown corn ethanol blend. Unleaded 88 can be used in virtually every car, while that yellow cap or Flex Fuel logo means you can grab the E85 pump. No matter which one you choose, you're lowering greenhouse gas emissions and your bill to fill. So the next time you get to empty, choose an ethanol blend for your refill. Find a station at incorn.org/ethanol. Message brought to you by Indiana's corn farmers and their checkoff.
BoerRemodeling.com, serving Central Indiana for 23 years. These are your kitchen and bathroom remodeling specialists. When you're ready to make the change, they're ready for you. It's a new year, so it's time to get it done. That kitchen, that heart of the home, the bathroom, a place where you can actually relax and build instant equity in your home. 317-852-5546 or online at Boer, BOOHER, BoerRemodeling.com.
Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement. Wet.
Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy?
Underwear.
No, it's basement. Really moldy underwear.
Well, sometimes.
Ew. Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
As our loved ones age, ensuring their safety at home becomes a top priority. This is Tina McIntosh, president of Joy's House and co-host of the Caregiver Crossing radio program. I'll be right back with some practical things you can do to reduce the possibility of a fall or injury.
At Cardon Senior Living Communities, you'll find our teams share a commitment to enhancing the lifestyle and well-being of the people we serve every day at every stage of life.
Coming up in 2 minutes, Donnie Burgess reports on a teenager charged after a weekend carjacking. That and more coming up after Fox News Radio from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 5 o'clock.
It was driven by campaign concerns. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That bottom line from former attorney Michael Cohen at former President Trump's New York hush money trial. Cohen testifying about payments he made to Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 election.
Cohen, during his testimony this morning, said the former president told him that he needed to do whatever he could to keep the Stormy Daniels story under wraps. Past the election, he said, that the president said, just take care of it. This is a disaster, a total disaster. Women are going to hate me.
Fox's Eric Shawn at State Supreme Court in Lower Manhattan. Prosecutors say the former president falsified business records when reimbursing Cohen. The former president telling reporters,
this is a political witch hunt, and nobody's ever seen anything like it.
Several Republican members of Congress traveling to New York to show support for the former president, including U.S. Senators Vance and Tuberville, attacking Cohen's credibility after he pleaded guilty in 2018 to making false statements to Congress. A few blocks away, they're still trying to pick a jury for the second corruption trial of New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez. The first case against him ended with a hung jury in 2017. Reassuring words for Israel at the White House, which says the U.S. wants to see Hamas defeated and that the world should call on Hamas to get back to ceasefire talks, though it's unclear what next steps could look like.
The Biden administration remains intent on freeing hostages and reaching a ceasefire in Gaza, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says.
And working through those details is what is going to be necessary to get this across the finish line. We believe there is a framework that both sides could sign up to.
Sullivan also says Israel has indicated current operations in Rafah in southern Gaza are targeted.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. President Biden remains opposed to a major ground operation in Rafah, freezing delivery of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel over concern about civilian harm. America is listening to Fox News.
Hi, I'm Henry.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
An accident at a car wash. 79 degrees, mostly cloudy downtown. No rain around Indianapolis on your radar. Temperatures drop to the lower 60s tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:02. A 21-year-old man died after falling in a trench at a crew car wash in Noblesville today near the White River and State Road 37.
He was working to install a water pipe
The trench was approximately 8 feet deep and 4 feet wide. The sides of the trench sloughed off and collapsed in on him.
Trevor Hash with the Noblesville Fire Department. The man was identified as Sean Young. A teenager's been charged in a weekend carjacking on the north side. Donnie Burgess reports.
A rideshare driver pulled up to North California Street on Indy's north side just after midnight. The customer got in the car with 3 other people. They all pulled guns and demanded the car. The driver got out and called the cops. Indy Metro Police tracked the car down about 2 hours later. The suspects tried to drive off, but they bailed on that idea and ran for it. 2 suspects were arrested. One was 16 years old. Donnie Burgess, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
After finding one person with a weapon on the east side of Indianapolis Sunday night, IMPD Lieutenant Vincent Turner says officers learned something else was going on at a nearby home.
Upon further investigation, it led them to believe that there were suspects along with the victim inside the residence.
SWAT was then called in to clear the scene and make arrests. One person inside the home was wounded and taken to a hospital. The playoff series between the Pacers and New York Knicks is even at 2-2 after Indiana took Game 4 Sunday.
Just about everything this time of year is a one-game season, or feels like it. Every game is monumentally important. Getting down 0-2 is difficult. It's a big hole.
Pacers head coach Rick Carlisle. Game 5 is back in the Big Apple tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And the average price you're paying for a gallon of gas in Indiana today, $3.58, says Gas Buddy. It's 2 cents cheaper than the national average. Traffic and weather in 1 minute. It's 5:04.
Hammer Nigel here. Hammer, this is actually pretty amazing. If you could get a 15% upfront bonus on your money and a competitive return that's averaged 7% a year for the past 10 years, what would you say?
Abso-freaking-lutely. And that's what Bill Demery can offer you right now. A 15% upfront bonus when you invest your money. And what I love about Bill Demery, I've met with him. He can explain this stuff in a way that I can understand. He breaks it down, and it's so easy, Nige.
There's a lot of advisors on this station, but we only put our name on one advisor that we trust, both of us, and that's Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Help take care of your hard-earned money and reach out to Bill Demery right now. 317-648-5120. Ask about the 15% upfront bonus. 317-648-5120. Past performance is no guarantee of future returns.
With traffic of the 5s at 5:05, here's Matt Bear.
All right, Harrison, eastbound 74 from Indy to Shelbyville is closed because of a fatal crash. The closure is at Fairland Road. That is where they are diverting traffic. Reroute includes southbound 65 to Franklin and then State Road 44. All of that posted at WIBC Traffic. Northbound 65 heading to the northwest side. Crash before 38th Kessler. That's blocking the right lane, causing stop-and-go traffic back to MLK. Carmel, a truck is on its side. This is Main Street at Spring Mill Road. I'd avoid the area right now. It's also leaking fuel. Eastbound 70 stop and go to downtown from Holt Road to Meridian, Illinois. Crash Lafayette Road at Traders Lane, and northbound 37 stop and go from Epler on up because of construction. Traffic sponsored by Mr. Quick Home Services. Attention Indy homeowners. Is your cooling system ready for the heat? Don't sweat it. Mr. Quick Home Services has you covered with their special $89 cooling tune-up offer. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers are possible tonight with lows in the low 60s. Tuesday will feature on and off showers and storms with heavier rainfall potential at times, with highs only in the low 70s, which is near normal for this time of the year. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hammer and Nigel. Can you believe these characters are weirdos?
So let's rock it!
My name is Nigel. Jason Hammer writes over there. I really don't like starting out segments like this, but it is definitely newsworthy that a young man died today after he was trapped in a trench that collapsed in Noblesville. It was earlier this morning. They were contractors. They were installing water pipes, and the collapse happened. It's awful. Awful story.
Emergency crews were called to the 14600 block of Umber Avenue near 146th Street and River Road for a trench rescue around 9:45 this morning. Now, I remember seeing this story break this morning that rescue, teams and first responders were on the scene, and I was really hoping for a happy ending here, but unfortunately it did not happen. More than 24 firefighters responded to the scene. This trench is 8 feet deep by 4 feet wide, and the 22-year-old contractor was installing water pipes when the collapse happened. Teams responded quickly, but it was not quickly enough, man, and what an awful, awful situation.
I have a buddy of mine that works, I think, kind of in this business, digging pipes, laying pipes, doing this sort of trench work. He's been doing it all his life. They get paid very well. It's very difficult and somewhat dangerous work. He's even, obviously, I'm not going to say his name, but he's caused like 1 or 2 gas leaks accidentally, or his crew at least did, which, you have to evacuate. Nobody got hurt. It's just a dangerous, dangerous job, just like being on a road construction crew.
And it's been one of those days, man. Matt Bear was talking about a fatal that we had out on the roads earlier. Yeah. This story up in Noblesville. Hug your people. Like coming off a Mother's Day weekend, if you're still fortunate enough to have your mom in your life or your grandmother or any mother-like figure, hug your people. Give them a hug, man, because you never know when it might be the last time.
Yeah, 22 years old. This is tragic. Just getting his life started, probably learning the ways of this, this
craft,
this job that is incredibly difficult to maneuver.
And out there doing, his job, like working for a living, not living off the government, not being a freeloader, out there doing hard work. And just pray for this young man's family because they need a lot of support right now. So I saw this story earlier, and I think this tells you everything you need to know about Joe Biden, assuming you didn't already know it.
Okay.
So Biden's campaign advisors seem to be afraid of their own voters. These lunatic protesters, these pro-Hamas, people that crash every single event. So now they're thinking about having a virtual convention to give Joe Biden the nomination so that way they don't have to deal with the pocket, out of touch lunatics that are going to be protesting in Chicago.
Wait, hold on. Whoa. Are they going to cancel the Chicago convention?
It's being talked about. Nothing is finalized, and it might just be all BS.
There's no way. If they do that, they are cowards.
Politico reports the closest advisors to Joe Biden are looking to synthesize portions of traditional convention with 2020's version, which would be a virtual convention, kind of like they had during COVID, to avoid potential or most likely protests.
Well, I mean, you go back to 1968, the Democrat National Convention in Chicago. They lit the place on fire. That was in the heat of Vietnam. It's interesting. I interviewed, I think you were gone, Newt Gingrich, House Speaker, and it was during COVID, and he was living in Italy with his wife, and that was kind of a sort of a ground zero for COVID and lockdowns and things, and it was in May, and there were protests and riots happening here. I think the riots had already happened here, and I'm like, Mr. Speaker Gingrich, have you ever seen anything like this before in your life with protests and riots in every city? He's like, yeah, I have. It didn't make me feel better, but it kind of gave me perspective. And he talked about the 1968 Democratic National Convention and how, a year of riots, an entire year of riots and political turbulence.
But in this case here, it's the monsters that they've created.
Sure.
So Joe Biden has made it clear he's not the Israel president, right? He is right now withholding weapons and arms from one of our best allies.
He's trying to play both sides.
He is. But all he's done is tick off both sides. At one point during one of these riots on college campuses, we saw both sides chanting FJB. Yeah. Both sides doing it back and forth to each other.
Oh, everybody coming together. At least that's one thing we can agree on.
So again, I don't know if this is going to happen or not, but Politico reporting that the advisors to Joe are kicking around the idea of a virtual convention just to avoid the national spectacle of their own voters turning on them and making a scene. Here's a question I have. Do you buy it? All right, Nigel, let's play a little round here. Do you buy it?
Hit me.
According to a new poll, the average person needs to spend 67 minutes outside each day in order to feel refreshed. It relaxes them, puts them in a better mood, helps clear their head. 67 minutes outside to refresh. Do you buy it?
I would replace the words outside to refresh to with couch.
Okay. Go on.
67 minutes on the couch to refresh. I would think like a good nap during the day helps me to refresh on the weekends.
Listen, I'm going to be 100% honest with you.
Yes.
I always feel way better after a big dump. Like, you know,
I'm sorry, Allison, you had to hear that. I'm really
listen.
Like she was just on the Home and Garden show. I don't think she's ever heard those words come out of Denny Smith's mouth.
They talk about fertilizer all the time, right? Just think of it as mulch, Allison.
Yeah,
okay,
apples and oranges.
right. Like when you're sitting on the can, it's relaxing because, you know, you're in there and nobody can bother you, or at least they shouldn't. Nobody's going to bother you.
So that's when you feel the most refreshed?
I think so. I mean, sometimes I don't get a chance to get outside for 67 minutes.
Yeah.
So you spin that on the can?
Yeah. I eat a lot of beef, Allison.
Okay.
So the question I have for the brain trusts that are in this room, or if you're just listening, what do you do for 67 minutes that can make you feel refreshed every single day?
I think the answer that makes most sense is probably take a walk.
Allison, 67 minutes every day. What would you do to clear your mind, to feel refreshed?
I would say a nap outside, so like on the back porch or something.
Ooh.
So you're going to be like one of these bums out here on the steps of
Exactly.
the monument. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'll just join him next time.
So Allison's going to be a bum. Nigel's going to lay down on his couch, but I'm the bad guy because I said take a dump. Fine. Let us know at Hammer and Nigel, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We got the YouTube chat. The camera's still up. What do you do for 67 minutes a day to rewind, reflect, relax, unwind, do all that stuff? Matt Baer.
All right, fellas, looking at eastbound 74, fatal crash and closure. This is going to be at Fairland Road with traffic backed up several miles. To reroute around this will take 65 southbound to eastbound 44 in Franklin. Crash northbound 65 before 38th Kessler. Right lane is blocked. Traffic stop and go all the way back to 21st Street. Now a crash coming inbound 69 down from Fishers. It is blocking the right lane at 82nd Street, causing stop traffic back to 106. Carmel, a truck on a side. This is Spring Mill Road at Main Street. I would avoid a crash northwest side Lafayette Road at Traders Lane. Traffic sponsored by Visit Myrtle Beach. Be your best self in the place where you belong. The beach, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Plan your trip to the beach at visitmyrtlebeach.com. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
Now, to be clear, when we're saying 67 minutes a day to help you feel refreshed, this is something you have to do on your own. Because a lot of people are suggesting sexual things here.
Oh, no.
And no, this has got to be something you can do on your own. I mean, I guess you could, but, sounds like a lot of work. Let us know at Hammer and Nigel. Sun is shining at 79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center. Are you okay with this? That's the question. That's the game. We'll play it next.
Retirement. When you picture your retirement, what do you see? Travel, relaxation, hobbies, more time with the people you love? Or are you met with uncertainty and concern? Whatever emotion the word retirement conjures up for you, Howard Bailey Financial is ready to help. Our financial advisors are not just experts in retirement strategies, they are your partners in crafting a personalized retirement plan that aligns with your dreams and aspirations. At Howard Bailey, we prioritize one thing above all else, your peace of mind. Don't leave your retirement planning to chance. Instead, call 866-482-9559 now. to schedule your personal financial review and see how Howard Bailey can help give you confidence in your retirement goals. Again, call 866-482-9559.
This endorsement was not provided by a client of Howard Bailey. This individual was compensated for this endorsement. For more information, visit howardbailey.com/TS1.
Mark your calendars. You're invited to rev up your wellness journey at Holistic Integration's Race into Health Open House event. Drop by anytime on Tuesday, May 21st from 4 to 7 p.m. You'll meet Dr. Robert Prather, host of the Voice of Health Radio, along with our entire team of dedicated health providers, and explore a range of services tailored to your wellness. You'll enjoy healthy refreshments and free health services such as posture screens, custom orthotic foot scans, balance assessments, and sound baths. Enjoy 10% off any IV therapy treatment during the event, plus special deals on supplements. Those who attend can save $100 off their new patient exam and receive a free autonomic nervous system test, normally priced at $175. The Holistic Integration Race into Health Open House event, Tuesday, May 21st, anytime from 4 to 7 p.m. Learn more or RSVP by calling 317-848-8048 or on our website, thevoiceofhealthradio.com.
A slow network is no network for business. That's why more choose Comcast Business. And now we're introducing Ultimate Speed for Business, our fastest plans yet. We're up to 12 times faster than Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. And existing customers could even get up to triple the speeds at no additional cost. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability and advanced cybersecurity. It's Ultimate Speed from Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Don't miss out on our fastest speed plans yet. Get started with internet and security for $49 a month for 12 months with a 2-year contract when you add one unlimited mobile line. Plus, ask how to get up to an $800 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Call 1-800-501-6000 or visit ComcastBusiness.com to switch today. In 62324, restrictions apply. New customers only with 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. EcoBell and autopay required. Equipment, tax, and fees extra. Compares Comcast Business 1.25 gig to 100 megabit per second 5G internet at Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile. Up to 3 times downloads for existing essential and standard customers.
I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
This hour on WIBC, powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
Are you really
Are you okay?
Everything's gonna be okay.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm pretty far from okay.
Are you okay with this? On the Hammer and Nigel show.
Oh, yeah!
Hammer, someone posted a video of an Airbnb that supposedly charged extra for everything, like a $12 per day per device to use the Wi-Fi. The woman in it claims they charged her an extra $924 after she checked out. Here she is listing some of the possible charges and then her phone call with the property owner.
Washing machine will be charged per wash. Are you serious? No meat or animal products allowed. Do not sit on this chair. It was my deceased husband's favorite one. Wi-Fi is free on the first day.
I just got a note from Airbnb about some additional charges.
You used the pool table twice, and there's a charge on the pool table.
How did you know I used the pool table?
And then the washing machine. I know you used the washing machine twice. I've only charged you for the things that you've used. I will take this up with the Airbnb.
Please
do. Your numbers.
Are you okay with this?
No, I'm not. Now, I've got questions because I have never purchased an Airbnb before. Have any of you guys done Airbnb before? Allison, have you?
Oh, lots of times.
Really?
Yeah.
Anything like this happen?
I have never ever heard of, especially the Wi-Fi. I guess you could chalk up maybe laundry, but Wi-Fi? Are you kidding me?
We rent, like when we went down to Florida for spring break, we rented a house with another family, and they had 2 sets of washers and dryers, and we used it constantly. Now that was through an agency. That wasn't Airbnb.
Right. Now, I get extra charges because, hell, you can't stay in a hotel room without them throwing a bunch of extra charges on you at the end. But charging you for this Airbnb, you played pool twice. You sat in a chair that was very special to
and
us.
She had a good point. How do you know I played pool twice?
She didn't even answer the question either.
Well, there was an article about how there are no longer allowed. They had cameras in Airbnbs, like in the living room, in the garage. They're not allowed to have those anymore if you're an Airbnb consumer or customer.
Right.
If you use Airbnb to rent your house, you're not allowed to have that.
Now, they're not supposed to have it, but maybe some of these weirdos keep hidden cameras somewhere. I don't know. I've never done the Airbnb thing. I just go to a usual hotel.
You hear that? She goes, "No meat allowed." This Airbnb sucks. I can't have a hamburger in the house.
And you can't sit in that chair. That's still here, but you can't sit in it. Ridiculous. No, I'm not okay with that.
A man in Florida stole a boat for a joyride last Tuesday. That's not the story.
So that's what happens every Tuesday.
He was wearing only his underwear and an ankle monitor.
There we go.
There it is. Witnesses say it was very clear that this man had very little boating knowledge. Here is a concerned boater breaking down what she noticed about the suspect.
It was fairly clear early on that he had very little boating knowledge. He struggled with basic knots, didn't know where to attach his anchor.
Are you okay with the guy in his underwear and an ankle monitor stealing a boat?
So the angle we're supposed to focus on was his lack of boating knowledge? We're just completely ignoring the fact that he's just in his underwear running around like a lunatic stealing things? Well, he didn't really know where to put the anchor down. Really? That's the point of the story that really rubbed this woman the wrong way the most? Not the fact that he's some weirdo in tidy whities, maybe with a skid stain on the back, stealing things, going out in the ocean. Well, you can just tell by the way he dropped that anchor. He doesn't have very good boating knowledge. Yeah, you can also tell by his underpants he's a weirdo. So no, to answer your question, I don't believe I'm okay with this.
All right. I don't even want to do this next one. God. Have you ever squeezed a plastic bottle of ketchup and none came out?
Sure.
A guy who posts life hacks on TikTok.
Oh, God.
It's going viral again after claiming we've all been squeezing ketchup bottles wrong. Here's what he says.
The original glass ketchup bottle was made in 1890, but then they made a squeezable ketchup bottle in 1983. But it was still difficult to get ketchup out of the bottle. So they made what's called a gravity container. Now, if you were to squeeze a gravity bottle from the front, you have to physically squeeze for it to come out. But if you were to squeeze the bottle from the sides and then release, all the pressure is going to push out the ketchup on its own. I squeeze the sides. Super easy. Now this has to do with air pressure, so after a while this won't really work, but it might work for the first couple squeezes. Give it a try, have fun.
That sounds like the most boring man alive. Spending 5 minutes with this guy probably feels like 5 hours. Well, you're going to squeeze the ketchup and then the ketchup's going to come out, and if you don't do it in the right way, the gravity... Shut up!
The original glass bottle was made in 1990 and 1983. It was difficult to catch up. Gravity squeezed the bottle with the side and then release the pressure.
No, you're right. This is the dude's version of the annoying TikTok woman who talks like this and talks real fast and has everything in with an upward inflection. Like, this is the dude's version. Like, the ladies that, make fun of dudes on TikTok use this as the example. Did you hear that boring guy talking about ketchup? He wouldn't shut the hell up.
It's the only executive order I agree with, that Joe Biden has ever signed. Get rid of TikTok.
So I wish that we got like the Chinese version of TikTok, where they're teaching people math. They're teaching people science.
Engineering, yeah.
We got this numbnut spending 15 minutes talking about Heinz. No, it sucks.
And finally, an 18-year-old a-hole in New Hampshire is facing several charges after he tipped over a portable toilet, trapping a woman and her 4-year-old inside. The woman and her daughter, they weren't hurt, but they were dirty.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're not okay with that.
No, not okay with this at all. Again, when I become the president, death penalty for that guy. We're going to be passing out the death penalty like, fat guys pass out donuts, man. This somebody right here tipping over a portolet with a woman and her toddler in it. What the hell is wrong with you? And I'm sorry, if I got out of that portolet and I know I'm covered in poop and I got the worst filth imaginable on me and my child.
Awful.
If that person were there, it's on like Donkey Kong. I may kill a man that night. I would tell my attorneys, have the bail money ready, and maybe I'm going away for a while, but it'd be really hard for me not to kill that person. Oh, that's so disgusting. Did you ever see that Jackass scene where Steve-O is in the portolet?
Oh, it's hilarious.
And they flip it up in the air, and
so
all
gross.
The crap and poop comes flying out on him.
Did they do it to Britney Spears, too?
Yes. Britney Spears did a Jackass scene like that, and it didn't make the movie. It made like the extra footage at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can find that on YouTube. Look up Britney Spears Jackass, and hell, it might even be the least surprising thing you see about Britney Spears all day today. Coming up next, the lovely, the talented Miss Daisy will join us from the Chicks on the Right. We'll talk to her right after the news with Harrison Silcox.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
What firefighters were doing at a car wash, 79 degrees, mostly clear skies in downtown Indianapolis. Your radar is clear, low of 61 tonight. I'm Harrison Silcox. Here's what's trending at 5:29. A contractor installing a water pipe at a crew car wash in Noblesville died after they fell in a trench this morning.
It's a pretty labor-intensive project, and we were able to eventually extricate him from the dirt and lift him out.
Trevor Hash with the Noblesville Fire Department says the man, 21-year-old Sean Young, was pronounced dead at the scene after he was pulled from the wreck. The Rush County Sheriff's Office is trying to find a missing teenager. Camden Hatfield has not been seen since Wednesday, May 8th. The 15-year-old's 5'7", 125 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes, and last seen in a black top and joggers. Call the Rush County Sheriff's Office if you have any info. It's not clear what needs to happen next to make a ceasefire possible in Gaza. Fox's Jared Halpern reports.
The Biden administration remains intent on freeing hostages and reaching a ceasefire in Gaza, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan says.
And working through those details is what is going to be necessary to get this across the finish line. We believe there is a framework that both sides could sign up to.
Sullivan also says Israel has indicated current operations in Rafah in southern Gaza are targeted. President Biden has expressed strong opposition to a major ground operation in that city where more than 1 million civilians are seeking shelter. The administration is freezing the delivery of 2,000-pound bombs to Israel, concerned about civilian harm. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The White House says they've been doing what they can to alleviate economic stress.
While the economy is turning around, and you've heard me talk at the top about the 15 million jobs created and what we've been able to do to turn around the economy, we understand that prices are too high, and young people in particular are feeling that.
White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, polls from the New York Times and Siena College show Trump and Biden have identical support with voters between the age of 18 and 29. And one of the newest additions to the Indiana music scene is already taking a year off.
But they say they'll be back in 2025. I'm Sam Fritz. The All In Music Festival announced on Facebook that it will not be happening this year. No reason was provided for the event's delay. However, the organization would respond to comments on their post saying that they were working with the Indiana State Fairgrounds, where the event had been held for the past 2 years, in order to be brought back bigger and better. Previous appearances at the All In Music Festival included chart toppers like John Fogerty, Cage the Elephant, and Death Cab for Cutie. Sam Fritz, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
With traffic at 532, here's Matt Baer.
Harrison, a fatal crash is closed eastbound at 74 before State Road 9. This is at Fairland Road, like you're heading from Indianapolis to Shelbyville. All lanes are closed with traffic backed up for about 2 miles from the closure point. You can reroute starting with southbound 65, then State Road 44 in Franklin. All of that at WIBC traffic. Crash inbound at 69 at 82nd Street. Right lane is blocked. Traffic backed up to 116th Street for a delayed time of 23 minutes. Crash heading to the northwest side. It's northbound 65 before 38th Street Kessler Boulevard. Right lane is blocked. Traffic stop and go back to West Street. And a crash in Carmel. This is Spring Mill Road at Main Street. Is a truck on its side. It's leaking fuel. I would totally avoid. Traffic sponsored by Driven to Save Lives. This may be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives remind you to say yes to organ donation the next time you are at the BMB. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
And the forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Scattered showers are possible tonight with lows in the low 60s. Tuesday will feature on and off showers and storms with heavier rainfall potential at times, with highs only in the low 70s, which is near normal for this time of the year. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Stephen Deanna for 93 WIBC.
I'm Harrison Silcox on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
The Hammer and Nigel Show. Hello, my name is Nigel. That's Jason Hammer over there with a very special and lovely guest on the hotline.
She is one half of the Chicks on the Right. The lovely Miss Talented Daisy joins us. Daisy, how was your Mother's Day?
It was just fantastic. I did a whole lot of nothing, which is exactly what I wanted to do. It was so great. How are you guys?
You mean to tell me you didn't celebrate by having a hunger strike in honor of these college kids across the nation, Daisy?
Oh, my God, no. I ate all the things. There was no hunger striking. These kids are such freaking idiots. Like, they're making all the demands. They're like, why aren't you checking on my health while I'm doing intermittent fasting? Why aren't you doing that?
They are truly petulant little entitled children that don't have, I have a feeling they don't really exactly understand what they're protesting or why.
Such poor parenting, you guys. Like, I want to find the parents of these kids. And I mean, not that I condone violence on your show, but I want to punch them in the face.
No, you can condone violence on this show. It's totally fine, as a matter of fact. We encourage it.
Who parented these brats? It's so insufferable, these kids. They're just making all these demands and they're so entitled. And I weep for our future. But
you know what? It's such a small minority of people, though, right? Like, if you look at the enrollment of a major college campus, and then you see how many people are actually protesting, it's a small amount. They just happen to be making the biggest scene.
It's true. It's true. If you look at like a lot of the frat boys, like at UNC Chapel Hill, who drowned them out, and now they're throwing themselves like a $400,000 party. I do have some faith. You're right. There is hope for the future.
Like at the Duke commencement where Jerry Seinfeld was speaking over the weekend. Mm-hmm. They waited till they got their diploma, and then like 30 out of 7,000, 30 people got up and walked out in protest chanting Free Palestine. It's so eye-roll worthy to me.
It is. And they walked out because why? Because he's Jewish? I mean, are you that much of a Nazi? Yeah. Like, what is wrong with you? They walked, and then some of them went across the stage. They got their diplomas and they ripped them up, like, in protest. I mean, like, these kids are. I shake my head and I'm like, I cannot believe that these people walk amongst us. Like, and I hope that it actually changes minds of, Jewish people, Jewish voters who were once Democrats, people like Jerry Seinfeld, because Jerry Seinfeld, I know his wife, we used to make fun of his wife a lot because she, was a big Bernie Sanders fan, and she loved Bernie, and she was really all about stumping for Bernie. And so these people, a lot of them are diehard Democrats. I would like to see a lot more Jewish celebrities speaking out against this garbage, and I'm not seeing a lot of that. I really wish I'd seen more of it.
And the big picture, what do these spoiled brats that are protesting on behalf of terrorists on these college campuses. What's the end game? What are they hoping to accomplish? Like, is Bibi Netanyahu going to be sitting in his office? Oh, no. They walked out on Jerry Seinfeld. Quick, get Hamas on this phone. We've got to end this whole thing right now.
Right. And plus exactly. And these kids are pro-terrorists. And so I'd like to see them, especially when you see stuff like Queers for Palestine and stuff like that. It's like,
right.
do you even know what you're protesting, or do you know what you're talking about? I mean, it boggles the mind, because you think to yourself, okay, if you send these kids over to go over to Gaza, spend 45 minutes over there and see how well you do.
Right.
And if you're queer, or if you're a woman, see how long you last. Let's see how long you last there.
See how long that parade goes on the Gaza Strip.
Right.
The Queers for Palestine parade. Let's see how long that takes place, and then you can come back here.
Yeah, we'll crowdfund for you.
I would crowdfund. I would donate to that cause. I would send them over there.
Right, right. Chatting with Daisy from the Chicks on the Right program. So Donald Trump had this big, massive rally in New Jersey over the weekend, and depending on who you talk to, it was 100,000, or maybe it was substantially less. I don't know. But we kind of had a text thread, Nigel, myself, Rob, and some others. Are we kind of getting worn out with the Donald Trump rallies? I know this is New Jersey, and it's a blue state, but the people in that crowd, they all still have just one vote. Just because you're enthusiastic doesn't mean you get more than one vote. So do we make anything out of these big rallies in blue states?
Well, I would say there's a couple things. One is, there's like 100,000 people that showed up to that. So that's kind of a big deal. And the people were shouting, turn it around, because he's taunting the media, because the media doesn't want to actually show you who's in the crowd, because I think the media is getting a little afraid of the fact that he is drawing these crowds, and Biden can't even draw like tens and tens of people,
But that's how it was in 2020, though, too. Hell, Joe Biden didn't even leave his basement in 2020, and he still, won the thing.
It's true, but here's the difference. We saw a little bit, and we talked about this a little bit this morning on our show. One of the things that I saw that was a little bit different that I haven't seen in some other ones is I did see a couple young faces in that crowd. And I say a couple, a lot more than a couple, but I did see a lot more young faces in that crowd, because I think he's starting to attract younger people, like the millennial crowd and younger, to his rallies. I think that age group is starting to get really fed up with the fact that they can't afford things, and this economy sucks so hard, and so they're starting to be drawn to Donald Trump, and they're starting to be drawn away from this Bidenomics crap. And so we are noticing that. I mean, his popularity is soaring because of stuff like the economy, and because people are getting sick of stuff like all of these trials, like the Stormy trial. I mean, people are just turned off by that. So a lot of this is just making people, I know, because I have older kids. I have my 14-year-old daughter, but then I also have a 30-year-old and I have a 35-year-old. And I know my older kids, they're living in this economy. And I know the middle one, the older one, already has a house, and she's established. But the middle one, living in California, trying to get the hell out of there.
Oh, boy.
But they're trying to escape California, and then they're trying to buy a house. And listen, they both do really well. They have great jobs. It's almost impossible for a lot of these kids nowadays to do well and to buy homes and to do all the things they want to do in this economy. You guys, it's tough out there. You know that it's really tough out there. And if you're younger, it's tough. Rents are ridiculous.
Rent is too damn high.
It is. The rent is too damn high. And so a lot of these kids are like, you know what? This is insane. And if they weren't political before, they're becoming more political. If they were liberal before, they're starting to wake up and say, I'm not a liberal anymore. I'm going to become a conservative based on the economy. So I think what we saw at that rally is we did see interspersed between the faces, the older faces, what we're used to seeing at these rallies, is some more younger faces, which I think that's promising. I really do.
I agree with you. I have a college student as well, and I'm seeing more and more people lean toward, I'm not saying being conservatives, but Donald Trump, because it seems like when you look at the generations in this country, the next generation is always the opposite of what it was before, right? You had the greatest generation, then you had hippies, and then you had the folks that let, Ronald Reagan win 49 out of 50 states and basically, run the table electoral college-wise, and then you went Bill Clinton folks. And now you've got these radical, lunatic, woke lefties. They're getting a little bit older now, and I think the younger generation is starting to see the nonsense that is, and the pendulum may be swinging a little bit. I don't know.
I agree. I totally agree. Even my 14-year-old looks at these people and she's like, these people are freaking whack jobs.
Right.
Like she leans right, which, I mean, I know she has me as a mother, but still, it's at the same time, I think that she sees that a lot of this is just common sense. And she's like, when you talk to them about the economy and just basic stuff like that, she's like, wait, why are you being taxed this much? I don't understand. Why does the government take this much money? And when you can't explain to her the why and the how, they understand it in common sense terms, and they're like, the government shouldn't be doing this. Yeah, you're right. The government shouldn't be doing this. So the tide is turning, I think, you guys.
Finally, we're speaking with Daisy from the Chicks on the Right. Are you paying much attention to this stuff in Congress with House Speaker Mike Johnson, and now he's all buddy with the Democrats and Hakeem Jeffries, and Marjorie Taylor Greene she wants him out of there, and they immediately tabled that motion or whatever. Are you paying much attention to that?
A little bit. I got to tell you, I'm just so sick and tired of our party not being cohesive.
Yes.
I'm sick of us. I'm sick of everybody on our side of the aisle. We've got such a slim majority to begin with. Like, can we just not get along with each other, and can we quit acting like toddlers and just get some? I want to say all the words, and I know I can't say that on FM radio, but can we just get some crap done? Like, that's what the American people want, and that's where I am on this. Like, I just want to be able to get some crap done, and I would really like for the infighting to stop.
Well, even Trump came out and said, "Hey, MGT, why don't you cut the crap here before the election?"
Right. And I think there's a lot of grandstanding. Like, when they went through the initial getting rid of Kevin McCarthy, they didn't have a plan in place. And when you start kicking people out of positions, you need to have a roadmap to where you're going with that. You need to have a plan. Whenever you do anything, whenever you have a problem, it's like, if there was a problem, I'll solve it. Okay, well, then solve it. I mean, in the great words of Vanilla Ice, you got to make sure you have like an end game. And they didn't have that, and now we're in a world of hurt again because they didn't have a person in mind. And we have the interim guy who is running things, which it's fine, but it's not exemplary. And so we're still at a point where it's like we never know what we're doing, and we look like toddlers.
Right.
And I don't like looking like toddlers.
It's fine until Hakeem Jeffries comes out and says, we're willing to do anything to protect this guy. That's
exactly.
Fine.
Not okay.
Might not be the word I'd use there, but it is what it is. What is coming up on the Chicks on the Right program?
Well, all sorts of stuff. I'm sure we're going to be talking more about, the Stormy Daniels, all of this Trump trial stuff. And then, we've got every single day we're talking about stuff like all of this, Israel-Palestine conflict. And then also RFK. RFK is becoming a thing, too. So you guys check out our podcast, chicksontheright.com/links is where you can find everything.
Amy Jo from the Chicks on the Right, have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Great to talk to you guys.
It's the Hammer and Nigel Show.
What people suffering from nasal breathing, snoring, and sleep apnea problems want is for their issues to be fixed. And at Advent, that is precisely what we do. Here, there are no Band-Aids, but there is a thorough approach to get to the root of your problem. And in tens of thousands of cases, finding simple solutions, which are undeniably effective, have made remarkably positive impacts on people's lives. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. For years, patients have been traveling literally from around the world to come to us to find what no one else has been able to give them. And that's why now we've come closer to you.
If your quality of life has been diminished because of nasal breathing, snoring, or sleep apnea problems, and you don't know who to turn to, go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Breathe well with simple solutions. Breathe well with simple solutions. AdventKnows.com.
Results may vary.
Hey, I love Window Nation. I love my Window Nation windows. My neighbors got jealous. They loved them so much. They used Window Nation to put new windows in their house. My mom just had a Window Nation window put in her kitchen. They installed over 200,000 windows last year. That's like 40 times more than the average window company. So what does that tell you? It tells you they get the job done right the first time. A couple more numbers for you. 96% of those windows installed required no follow-up service. And they have over 20,000 positive online reviews.
The semi-annual sale, it's happening now. 50% off all style of windows, 0% interest for 5 years, and an additional bonus, an additional discount if you book your appointment this week. What are you waiting for? Call Window Nation. Get the savings locked in. 866-90-NATION or go to windownation.com. Be sure to tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
I'm confused. After 40 years, people still tell me that they have seen another spa that's as good as a Royal Spa. I've given tours to engineering groups who see our operation and ask, how can anyone buy from others when Royal Spa products are so much better? The answer is that lots of people don't take the time to understand the unbelievable differences. Come into any of our locations and make the salesperson prove the superiority of the Royal Spa product.
Royal Spa. Michaelis presents Password. The word is basement.
Wet. Rain.
Leaky.
Faucet.
Stinky.
Socks.
Moldy?
Underwear.
No, it's basement. Really moldy underwear.
Well, sometimes.
Ew. Basement waterproofing and French drains. Life happens. Michaelis happens to help you through it.
Make it Michaelis.
Come on, take your basement back. 844-FIX-INDY.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Absolute Comfort. Chris Wedikin is the owner, and he tells us why many homeowners are giving up their air conditioners for a high-efficiency heat pump.
By removing your air conditioner and replacing it with a heat pump, you are not only saving by getting a higher efficiency air conditioner, the heat pump works in reverse and saves you money in the wintertime as well.
See if a heat pump is the right move for you by going to AbsoluteComfort.org. Absolute Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
This May, be a hero at the finish line. Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives reminds you to say yes to organ donation the next time you're at the BMV.
Guys, solve your ED today with an intimacy guarantee, only at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic. If you don't perform, you don't pay. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000, 999-9000.
Pierce Jewelers is the best family-owned jewelry store in Carmel. All jewelry and watch repair, appraisals, and custom design are done in-house. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
All right, Matt Baer, what's up?
Hammer eastbound 74 in Shelby County. This is from Indy to Shelbyville. The crash has cleared. We had a fatal crash earlier this afternoon around 2 o'clock. It is gone and traffic has cleared out nicely. Looking at northbound 65 before 38th Kessler, that crash is cleared as well. Now southbound 69 to 82nd Street, that is a crash blocking the right lane, and traffic is stopped back to 116th Street. 29-minute delay there. At a crash in Carmel. Spring Mill Road at West Main Street, a truck is on its side leaking fuel. I would avoid the whole thing. Traffic sponsored by Driven to Save Lives. This may be a hero at the finish line. Say yes to organ donation and talk to your family about your decision. A message from Indiana Donor Network and Driven to Save Lives. I'm Matt Baer. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
79 at the American Standard Cooling Weather Center at 93 WIBC.
You're listening to the Hammer and Nigel Show.
Hammer, it's Monday. I realize that, but do you need a reason to drink tonight?
I do.
Dennis Rodman is 63 years old today.
The Worm, 63.
I mean, champion, right? I mean,
one of the greatest defensive players to ever play in the NBA.
Yeah, just incredible. Just had a marble or two shaking around in that head.
Yeah, there's not many guys that can say they're an NBA Hall of Famer, but they also had to get dragged out of bed banging a model in Las Vegas to get to a playoff game in time. And if you watch that Bull series, The Last Dance, Jordan himself had to go to Vegas, get him out of bed with Carmen Electra to get back to make the playoff run.
Dennis, it's Michael Jordan. Can you can we get to the game?
And what was great was Carmen Electra was like, was that Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
Like she's naked in bed with Dennis Rodman, and she's like, wow, that's Michael Jordan knocking on the door.
And don't forget, he is the official ambassador of the United States to North Korea.
Official, unofficial, maybe.
Whatever.
Here he is talking about singing karaoke with Fat Boy.
For me to go over there to see him as much as I have, I basically hang out with him all the time. We laugh, we sing karaoke, we do a lot of cool things together. And we ride horses, we hang out, we go skiing, and we hardly ever talk politics. And that's the good thing about that.
Did he ever tell you about the time he starved his entire country?
No, but they sang Don't Go Breaking My Heart together, so it's fine. Did you ever hear his story about how Madonna wanted him to put a baby inside of her?
Physically put a baby inside of her?
Oh, I tried.
I'm sorry?
She asked me that if I got her pregnant, she'll pay me $20 million. I was rolling the dice in Vegas, and she's in New York. She calls, and next thing you know, the pit boss said, hey, Dennis, we got a call from Madonna. He just screams it, right? Get the calls. And she said, Dennis, you know what? I'm ovulating. Okay, great. So I'll be there in 5 hours. I put the dice down. I said, hold the table. If you got money, they do that. She sent a plane for me, G5. I went to the airport, flew here, went over that thing over to her house, did my thing, went back on the plane, got back, held the table, started playing dice again.
So did he accomplish what he set out to do?
Did not work.
Okay. I watched Dennis Rodman play craps in Vegas before.
I thought you were going to say you watched him make love to Madonna. I'm surprised that wasn't a Vegas show in itself.
Forget where it was. It's Caesars. It was either Caesars or the MGM Grand.
Yeah, he's not going to be at Circus. I can promise you that.
But he was laying, $500 chips at a time.
He's a big spender, man.
Yeah.
63 years old today. Don't go anywhere. We got another hour to go. Top stories next.
Mortgage rates have lowered going into the spring selling season. Now is the time to act to maximize your equity. Mark Dietel has the plan and expertise to sell your home fast and for maximum value this spring. Perhaps you're worried about settling for less money with a low ball instant offer. Mark Dietel guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it. Listen to what Crystal in Franklin had to say about working with Mark Dietel. I was moving to Kentucky and needed to move fast. I got the Mark Dietel marketing plan and was blown away. The plan worked. I got a full list price offer in the first weekend. Just like that, Mark and his team got it done. Call the agent I trust and recommend and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel at 317-755-4232 for all the details or go online to markdietel.com. That's Mark, DIETEL.com.
Hey, we all know the signature item at Jay's Lobster and Fish Market there in the Garage Food Hall, downtown Bottle Works District. The lobster rolls, right? You got to try this new variation, though. The hot honey fried lobster roll. So good.
Palavana Cubano. That's my joint, man. That's also located in the Garage Food Hall in Bottle Works. It is the tastiest Cuban sandwich restaurant in Indy. And that Cuban Reuben, it might be the best sandwich in Indy. Palavana Cubano. Tell them Hammer and Nigel sent you.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest. When plumbing problems arise, you need them fixed fast and right. The LD Smith Plumbing crew knows how to put water in its place. We do it all, from the kitchen sink to delicate repairs in historic homes, and we'll always give you honest advice at a fair price. So if you're worried about the cost of plumbing repairs, call today for a free second opinion on a competitor's estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Hey, who's winning? What? Who's winning? Somebody spinning?
Race fans know the track is loud. For the hard of hearing, this confusion happens every day on the telephone. RelayIndiana.com can help. RelayIndiana.com is a free service that provides telephone access to the hard of hearing, so users have normal phone conversations through relay operators.